I can't stand this on my right side of my face.
We'll put it on your left side.
I did.
No need to cry about it.
God, he's mad, ain't he?
God. Get me off this podcast.
All right. Well, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
I thought you guys were dead.
Nah.
I'll be 100% honest. So, one of the reasons that we've taken so long is because, don't get me wrong, we had a great turkey season, but at the same time, it was a grind to try to grind out a few birds this year. You killed one, Talon killed two, I killed two. But, like I said, it was a grind. And most of the turkeys that we got on this year, which is very uncommon, but we called up, on the way here, me and Talon were talking, we called up more birds in the afternoon this year than we called up in the mornings.
Could be,
I mean, to be honest with you, we're going to get into a little bit of turkey population, and it's probably, it may fire a few people up, it may not. I don't know. It's a little bit of popular and unpopular opinions,
But I
in my opinion, on the turkey population, but we'll get into that. But in my opinion, to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind if they set a regulation out there that said, hey, you got to stop. It don't matter across the board at 1 o'clock. Private land, public land, whatever you're hunting, you got to stop at 1 o'clock. You can get out of the woods. You can't turkey hunt in the afternoons. But
That was new this year, right? Or was it?
Well,
look, before
certain,
you answer that, I'm going to go ahead and say
yeah,
I am green as all get out when
Yeah.
it comes to turkey hunting. As a matter of fact, this year was my first turkey killed.
yeah.
Was my first turkey killed. That's a long story we won't get into. But anyway, so when it comes to this stuff, I'm green.
Right,
So
right.
anyway,
But,
if
I
I
mean,
sound like an idiot, I'm
yeah.
just ignorant to
Yeah.
the fact.
No, man,
Now let me ask one more question
Yeah.
before we get much deeper. I'm sorry, but can y'all feel that fan at all?
No.
not
Let's
very
turn it
much.
off because I can hear it coming through.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I don't
turn
want it
off.
to be a
Switch it
Are you
off.
saying to me too?
yeah.
He's the closest. Yeah, yeah. Turn it off. Yeah,
Yeah,
turn it
Tyler,
off.
get a few steps in.
Oh, Lord.
And if y'all can't tell, I put on
I was look okay. Since you bring it up, I think we need to compare you to the last podcast
Yeah.
to this podcast.
What
Yeah.
you talking about? My weight size?
Yes.
It's no different. I weigh
You
no
don't
more.
think?
No, I know.
I don't
I
know.
don't
know.
know.
The scales can tell.
I weigh
The
less.
scales
probably.
can be the same, but
Less?
that don't mean
Yeah.
you look the
I
same.
don't weigh a lot.
I never felt you walk into my house until today.
Oh, man. That crawl space will tell on you.
I know.
Y'all both weigh more than me. I don't want to hear it.
Bro, the pictures on the walls was doing like, yeah. So I said,
Yeah.
golly, what is going on?
Yeah.
God,
No.
that's ridiculous.
Let's
Y'all
go.
weigh more than me, and I weigh less than I did on the last.
How many snacks you
podcast.
got in your desk drawer right now?
Yeah.
No, not on one.
Shoot. It's all them beanie weenies and Vienna sausages he's eating.
What are you talking about? Pull your shirt up for the camera. Y'all ought to see what this guy looks like.
I'm sorry. I'm joking. I'm joking.
It's all
You look great.
He's only saying this because he got sick this weekend and lost 8 pounds.
I did.
Hey.
I got sick and lost 8 pounds as a result of it.
I could use 8 pounds gone.
You could lose 2.
Lord have
It'd help
mercy.
you a little bit.
I'm sorry. I sidetracked.
No,
us, but
no, we're good. But yeah, ask any questions you want, man. So me and you've talked a little bit about it. You've always been a big time deer hunter. And of course me and Talon's deer hunted also, but you're new to the turkey hunting. You told me before this past spring that you wanted to love it like we do. So you were going to try it, but after trying it this year, you liked it.
Oh, I loved
Correct
it.
me if I'm wrong.
I
You know,
loved
you
it.
loved it, you liked it, but there's something about whitetail that you say gets you excited.
Man. Here's my thing with turkey hunting that I have found, and I've kind of formed this opinion because this isn't the first year that I've tried to get into it, but this is just me. I feel like there's more of a barrier to entry when it comes to turkey hunting than there is deer. Deer, you can get permission on 5 acres in the middle of the city if you want to. You're probably going to find deer if it's a decent place, and you can have some success doing that. And turkey hunting, I mean, not all of your private land has turkeys on it.
Yeah.
You gotta
My
have the right
my dad
stuff.
always says there's always deer where turkey are, but there's hardly ever turkey where deer are, because deer go in thick
Yeah.
places and stuff like that. Turkeys just,
But
don't
you-
they don't
and
want
like you said, you're when it comes to turkey hunting, you're limited on where your turkeys are located
Yeah.
in the spring. Of course, you got hens that like to nest in thicker areas, but
God, I said something about Dad too. Shh, we'll never hear the end of it.
yeah.
He'll watch this and say,
But with turkeys, turkeys like, in which we talked about this, and turkeys like open areas. They like to strut in open areas. They like to gobble in open areas. If they get in thick brush, which would be good for the whitetail bedding areas, like you said, you get 2 acres or 10 acres in town, and it's a good bedding area. You can kill a deer. It may be a doe. It may be a good buck. I mean, who knows? But you have deer in
Yeah.
there. Turkeys are limited, like you said.
There is much more abundant supply of deer than there are turkeys. That's how I'm going to say that.
Right.
And when I say barrier to entry, too, I know that's going to sound stupid probably, and people could argue with me because we have public land that we can go to. And I did public land this year. But let me tell you, that's tough.
Yeah, it's a different ball
It's
game.
tough. And especially when you are sitting there wondering, like, well, man, where are all the turkey hunters? oh, you can't hunt until past 1 o'clock. Okay.
"You
Where
done
are
that?"
Man, get down
Yeah.
there. Man,
But now, look,
they
I was
talked about
just-
how pressured they are. There
Yeah.
ain't a single truck down here.
Yeah.
Look, I was not hunting, though. I just went down there to scout because I was wanting to go hunt it that next morning. So there was a spot that I had rode by, and I don't know, it just looked like a good spot. And it was the closest spot to the house. That was public land. And I went and parked outside, and I was just going to listen. So I had no intention of hunting. But I did wonder, like, why is there nobody here? And I started looking up the regulations a little closer, and I saw that, and I thought, well, okay.
That explains
That's
it.
why.
Man, so, yeah, you got on a bird this year,
Yep.
which was not on public land. You went with your brother-in-law,
Yep.
right?
I went with Chase, my brother-in-law, and he put me on a bird, and I have to give props to him. When it was over, and he's probably going to laugh when he hears this because he's going to watch, but when it was over, he said, "Now tell me, who else would bring you out here that hadn't killed a turkey in 3 years and put you on the gravy?" And I said, "Man, I know I can count on you."
That's a fact. I
Yep.
mean,
And it was the most beautiful turkey hunt
yeah.
I could have ever dreamed of
Right.
or drawn up.
So tell us a little story about it.
Well,
because I don't even know what happened.
Yeah.
I texted him before turkey season, or maybe it was a deer, and I said, I just want to go turkey hunting. I said, I don't care who shoots. I just want to go. And I was trying to get into it. And we were going to go to public land some. That's why I was scouting public land a lot. And I found turkeys on public land, by the way, and came close to getting on some. But anyway, we were going to – so checking the regulations. I can't remember. It all kind of runs together. I figured out that public land turkey season came in the week after private land. So
Yeah.
anyway, if you were hunting public land, you just had to wait another week.
Right.
And, well, we were planning on going that opening weekend. And I called him and told him what I'd found out. And so that kind of put a damper on us. But we already had permission to get out of the house that morning. So we were still going to go. And he had some land that he had access to that had turkeys on it in the past. But, well, the way it was is his daddy had heard turkeys, but he had never seen or heard the turkeys himself. But they were supposed to be in the area. So out of desperation, we go down there. And he had went the day before and scouted. He heard a bird roost. And anyway, so he told me to be at his house real early that morning. We get down there. We walk in the dark. We set up, and it's at the edge of a field. Or we're on the edge of the field in some thick cover. And before we can even get to the spot, it's still dark. Turkey's gobbling.
Yeah.
And
That's when it's good.
I'm thinking, well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And anyway, we set up, and he's probably about 15 yards, 10, 15 yards behind me. Definitely not 15 yards, about 10. And set up to call. Man, here's the thing. Sitting on the ground, and they say deer hunting, you know, sitting on the ground you can get busted so easy. We're sitting on the ground, and I start hearing crunching behind us. And I knew what it was.
Yeah.
And but I didn't move. I just slowly look around, and here comes a doe, and like a few steps behind her is a buck.
Yeah.
A nice 8-point.
Really?
And I kid you not, that deer was probably about 10, 15 yards in front of us.
Yeah.
And it's still dark enough where I can't see a lot of detail about it, but it was a nice 8-point. I could see the silhouette of him, you know, against the sky. And I thought, man, if I was deer hunting, there's no way I'd be getting this close to these deer.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's how it works every time.
I was pumped up about that. And meanwhile, the turkey is gobbling its head off, by the way.
Yeah.
It starts gobbling when the deer walk out. So I'm thinking, like, what is he going to do? What's Chase going to do? He starts calling. The deer knew that something was up, and we were both waiting on them to blow.
Yeah.
And didn't want that to happen. But he starts calling softly. The deer just like, okay. But they still just got on out of there.
Yeah.
Turkey is hammering. Every call that he makes, turkey is hammering. Finally, probably, it wasn't even 10 minutes. I'm facing the field. I have the gun up, and I see the turkey fly down. I hear Chase say, "You see him?" I said, "Yeah." And anyway, watch the turkey come through, and I could tell by the turkey's, the way he was walking, it's like he was thinking, I hear you over there in that cover. Here I am. Now come on out.
Come
Make
to
it.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so again, I don't know a whole lot about turkeys, but just from what I was seeing and what I was feeling at the time, I was thinking, I hope this turkey doesn't get spooked. And I think that, and me and Chase talked about this after the hunt, I think that if it had been anywhere else except that land where the turkeys hadn't been pressured,
Right.
he probably would have gotten spooked.
Yeah.
But he just kept coming. Just kept coming. It took him a while. And all I'm thinking at this point is, I cannot screw this up. Because I've heard horror stories about people missing over the top of them.
Yeah.
And I've never understood in my mind how they do that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to figure it out.
Yeah.
And
we'll get into some of that in just a minute.
I can tell you how they do it.
well,
I've
anyway,
witnessed.
he goes behind a yopon bush that's in front of me, and I'm in an uncomfortable position at this point. And I use that opportunity to shift around and get on him. He comes back, and anyway, he was about 40 yards out. I had what I thought was the last shot opportunity, and I took it, and or really the first shot opportunity,
Right.
and the last, because he was going to go into the woods. And for a split second, I thought that I missed him.
Yeah.
And I thought, this ain't good.
Oh.
And I look, and I hear Chase say, "Good job, you got him."
Good job.
And I look, and the turkey's flopping over there. I said, "Well, I'll be dang."
He's got
And
him.
that was fun.
Did he come
Yeah.
in? Did he come in strutting or half
he
strut
was
or anything?
he was half
or-
strut.
Yeah.
He never fully strutted. He didn't have to. He was the only one around. And
And so you can see now that, like, how you can tell the difference in his actions and compared to the hen's actions and stuff like that. You know, you can, once you do it, you know, for a while, you can definitely tell which one is which. But sometimes you can. I've been turkey hunting pretty much my whole life because my dad was a big turkey hunter, and but I have been on hunts where it's hard to determine, you know,
Which is
between the
which.
gobbler and the hen, especially when they're not fired up. When they just come in feeding, sometimes it can be a little, you know, kind of weird. But anyway, so that one put on a show and came in gobbling pretty good.
oh yeah, he was gobbling
All
good.
by itself.
All by
You
itself.
can't ask for anything better than
It
that,
was-
though. But
The whole hunt, seeing the deer, the turkey, just we're out of there by 7 o'clock probably.
yeah, go get breakfast.
Meanwhile, we were turkey hunting ourselves.
This is
Not-
the same weekend, by the way, that y'all killed y'all's first birds of the season,
First
right?
2 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you kill yours on a Saturday?
Yes.
I
Yes.
think.
I don't know what I killed.
think
mine on.
You guys had killed y'all's as a couple days before.
I killed mine a day after you killed yours.
No,
2
you
days.
killed mine you killed yours on the same day. I killed one that
Really?
morning. You went back that afternoon and killed the other one
Really?
same day. That was on a Friday. You had to work that morning. Remember, he killed his that Saturday morning after we killed ours on Friday.
Well, we
you
can get
killed
into
yours
some
on
stories
Saturday.
here
But
now.
golly, boy, we had a turkey season, son. We'll get into a few stories, but I'll be honest with you, it was the craziest turkey hunting season that I've been a part of in many, many years. Like I said, just crazy, uncommon things that took place, like more birds in the afternoon than calling up birds in the morning. That's just, I mean, if
Not
you're
really heard of.
yeah, I mean, if you're a turkey hunter and you've done it for a long time, most of your birds are fired up first thing in the morning at daylight. That's when your birds are fired up. And every now and then, you get on a bird, you get a midday bird gobbling, in which every turkey hunter loves a midday bird because a lot of the times, if you can get them gobbling in the afternoon or midday,
You can kill
a
'em.
lot of the times you can kill them because they're lonely or they're looking for a hen or something like that. But, yeah, we got on more birds in the afternoon than we did in the morning this year. That's the first time that's ever happened to me in all my turkey hunting days.
You'll hear a common denominator of who's got these birds gobbling in the afternoon real
Okay.
quick.
Golly. Anyways, this guy. But
Hey,
so
God.
we'll tell a little bit about ours the first morning. So the first morning we went, we were on a piece of property. We got permission to hunt. And so Talon was with me. Dad was with us. We all three went. First morning, we're all in the woods.
What a mess.
Doing whatever.
It was a mess.
Talon has to go to work. He needs to be at work around 8 or 8:30. So
7:30,
we're trying to
8
kill a
o'clock.
bird, hopefully off the roost. That's what our plan is. Try to kill a bird off the roost.
And we knew they were there because the day before, whenever they got
Yeah.
permission to hunt it, they had stopped by there and listened, and there
Yeah.
was some goblin. So
we
knew they
had
were
some. Me and Dad had rode by, and we got out. And now at this point in time, we did not have permission to hunt this property. And we got out the truck. Dad said, "Call out across there. It looks like it looks good. Call out across there, see what you can do." Well, I hit the call. Ow, ow, 2 of them hammer. I said, "Lord have mercy." So we get permission. We try to get permission. We got permission to go out there. And so the first morning we go, it's all 3 of us. We're kind of lost because we don't really know the lay of the land. We don't, we've never hunted out here before. This is our first season. So we get out there, and dude,
We kind of walk up towards where they had heard those turkeys.
yeah,
We kind
yeah.
of stopped right there.
We heard them turkeys up a road. There's a gate, and we go up straight up the road. We
And
heard
at the
them
mouth of the
turkeys.
road, we stopped. We
Yeah.
stopped at the mouth of the road where it met the thing.
Just waited for daylight to come to see where we could hear a bird, and then
Yeah.
when we heard the birds, we'd go to them.
Yeah.
Set up on them. So, dude, when we got there, like I said, never been to this property before, got permission to go. We got there, and, dude, when daylight hit, we had one gobble, and it was still dark. Right,
It was
right at
down the
early
road.
morning.
Down
It was
the road.
it was down the road, across the road. We had one gobble there. Then we
Huh?
had one gobble on down the road.
Yeah, down the road.
We had one start gobbling way off across the road. I mean, they were just birds everywhere.
Yeah,
we had
heard
no
about,
clue.
We heard about 6,
Yeah.
and we'd start. So we'd hear one, we'd start walking that way. He'd shut up for just a little bit. Ow! This one over here would hammer. We'd turn around and be like, well, we'd wait and wait. This one would gobble again. We'd start walking this way. This one would shut up, and that one would start gobbling again. We were just like going back and forth.
They
in
were
the
all
road.
over the place.
We didn't know where to go. I mean,
we were
had
in
no
a
clue.
honey hole
Yeah.
for sure. But anyway, so time goes on. Talon needs to go to work, and we're on a bird. We're trying to get to a bird across the road that's down on a creek. And like I said, we don't know the lay of the land yet. We hadn't studied the land yet.
Ended up spooking him.
Just a little bit of scouting, is all we
Yeah.
had done. We had not put boots on the ground out there, so we ended up spooking him off the roost.
We thought we got a
or
little too close.
not really off the roost, but we spooked him. He shut up gobbling for whatever reason. We think it was because he saw us walking.
We were using on X and didn't
Yeah.
realize we was as close as what we was to the bird. We thought there was something
Right.
between us and him, and we actually were right on top of him and didn't know it.
So when we got done with that bird and got off that bird, we got back to the dirt road. Talon's like, I need to go
left.
into work. So Talon leaves. He goes into work, and
Thought about quitting my job because it is very hard to leave whenever six
when
turkeys
there's
are
birds gobbling everywhere.
It was hard.
But me and Dad stayed over, and we told Talon, we'll let you know if something happens. If we kill one, we'll let you know. So we did. We went on. So we actually went up the road we started on. We went up the road me and Dad got back there to the back side of that road where a small little food plot is, and called. One hammered on the back side of the food plot. We set up there on this side of the food plot, opposite side of the bird, and we set up there, and it's one of the ones we got on camera, and we was just videoing. At this point in time, we was just videoing with our phone. But it's the one that you saw. We sent a video to you where I shot him, and you thought it was Talon.
Yeah, I got confused.
But, so I shot that bird. Come up, everything was good, gobbling like crazy. I think I shot that bird around 8:15 in the morning, 8:30, something like that. We got out of there, and Talon, he messaged me on his way home from work, and he was like, hey, man, I'm going to go back down there and try to get one to fire up this afternoon and just see what we can do. Well, Talon,
I don't even know if I messaged you. I just stopped by there. I thought it.
May have. I don't know.
I couldn't remember.
Either way, Talon went down there by himself, and
you were in Enterprise.
I was in Enterprise with my wife and the baby, and we were eating over there, doing a little shopping, hanging out. I thought my day of hunting was over with because I'd killed my bird. It's done. I'll try again another day. Well, Talon goes, and next thing I know, I get a call while shopping with the wife, and Talon says, "I got him hammering down here." I said, "You're kidding," and I kind of look at Ashley. Ashley looks at me. She's like, "You can go if you want to."
Wow.
Well, I didn't go to start with. So I told Talon, I said, give us some more time in Enterprise. I said, and if we're done shopping and done eating and doing what we're doing, I said, I'll go with you. Talon said, I don't have my camouflage in my truck. I got to go home.
And prior to this, I did not need him to go with me. I asked him to go.
Yeah, let him throw that in there real quick.
I feel bad. I hate going and killing a bird on private land because, it's fun and stuff, but, like, we heard 6 birds. You get 6 hunts. You know what I mean? So I hate to go and waste it by myself and just go and shoot a bird and nobody else be there to witness. So
Daddy wasn't there, so you needed Jinx.
I used to like get me off this podcast. Like I said, you're making fun of my bulking season, and then you're gonna say something like that.
Hey,
bulking season.
You got bulking season backwards. That's in the wintertime, okay?
Well, I like to bulk in the summer.
Hey. But he hollers at me. He tells me that, and so it worked out to where we were coming through Elba about the time that he said that he could grab my camouflage real quick from the house, which was in my truck or it was all together. He grabbed my stuff, and I met him in Elba, and the baby and the wife went on home, and I jumped in the truck with him. Well, since he struck the bird around 3 o'clock, it's been about 2 hours, so we're looking at about 5 o'clock.
Yeah,
around about maybe a little before 5 o'clock, about an hour and a half since he struck the bird. So we get back down there. Talon's like, hey, this is where he was gobbling at. So we get down there. I said, well, hit the call. Let's see what he'll do. Well, Talon hits the call, nothing. So we're thinking, well, maybe he didn't see anything. Maybe nobody come by, spooked him off the road, whatever. Because this bird was probably literally off, 50 yards off of a road? If that. So, anyways, we're thinking, whatever. So we walk to the back of the property. We're calling a little bit as we go. And I know some people say, crow call, owl hoot, do something other than just call with your hand. Because when you call, if he does gobble, he may gobble right there right there on top of you, or he may gobble and be on his way before you get set up on him. He may be on his way, and then you get busted. But we got our different ways of wanting to strike a bird. And
worry about yourselves. That's what I think.
So I'm with you.
Yeah, we go in and we call a little bit. Well, sure enough, we strike that bird up across the road that Talon had struck up earlier that day. And so we get down there, and I told Talon, I said, if we go off in these woods here, he's going to see us. There's no doubt about it. He's 50 yards off the road. I said, the best thing that we can do is hope to God nobody comes down the road, and we'll call him across this road. So
craziest thing I've ever been a part of. Well, one of the
craziest. This is the first crazy hunt we was a part of this year, but so we set up on him, and we're probably 10 yards off the road, maybe, something like that.
On the other side of the road.
On the other side, on the opposite side of the road of the turkey.
From him. We was going to try to call him across the road because we couldn't go into the road because into the woods with him. He'd have seen us.
And these woods are so wide open, you can see for hundreds of yards through there.
He was here. On the other side of him is the property line.
Right.
But he was on our property, so we couldn't go far on that side of him. He could have seen us if we would have went there.
Right.
And if we would have went in the woods here, there was a creek there. So we'd have to cross the creek on down in there.
And as everybody knows, turkey hunters know that birds don't like to cross creeks.
So Yeah.
So we were kind of in a tight spot. So he's the only bird gobbling at the time. So we're like, well, we'll set up on him. We'll just see what we can do. If nothing else, we'll come back in the morning and hunt him.
Mm-hmm.
So time goes on. We're calling to this bird, and he's gobbling. Well, he shuts up, and next thing we know,
a truck comes by. A
yeah,
Jeep.
a Jeep comes by, and when they come by, this bird, he kind of calms down, stops gobbling. Next thing you know, one hammers behind us. I told Talon, I said, he's behind us. Next thing we know, there's 2 more gobbling with the one behind us. So there's 3 birds hammering.
Well,
and they're
Jansen
coming.
yelped. He yelped. He was like trying to get that bird to gobble again, so he kind of like lightly yelped. And all of a sudden, they about blew our eardrums out. They was just right there on
Behind us.
So
I
on the
told
other side of
Talon,
us.
I was like, dude, I said, turn around on the tree, like right now, because if they get any closer, they'll see us.
Mm-hmm.
Talon switches around, gets on the tree. He's facing back towards the turkeys now that are coming on the opposite, It ain't the bird that was across the road.
So, and then how it was laid out. Can you see it on the table? Okay. Yeah, I need a marker. I can draw this. So, whenever I turned around on the tree to my right, so I was facing just like this. And Jansen was right here to my right. Well, down here to my right is a fire lane that goes back around the whole property, kind of. Or it goes back down to where that food plot is where he killed his bird. And then these are just like some open, like pines. Like right here, all in front of me is open pines, and that fire lane's around there. And then there's another road that comes up around over here. So we thought where they were gobbling here. We thought for sure they were fixing to walk down this fire lane. Jansen was like, they're going to come down this fire lane. So he turns around and lays down so that I can shoot back this way. So he crawls back towards me right here and lays down on his stomach.
Can't move.
Can't
I'm on
move.
my
He's
belly.
froze. So he was scared they was fixing to come up, and they were getting closer and closer and closer. We could hear it in their chest by this time.
I mean, you could hear them drumming.
Yeah, you could hear them drumming.
Everything. So
And all of a sudden, I swapped to left-handed because I was fixing to shoot them left-handed if they come up that fire lane because I didn't have time to move. Well, then I kind of like just swap it back over to my other shoulder, and then I see them, and they're just walking, zigzagging through the pines, straight down the middle of the pines. They didn't take no road. They just came straight down the middle of the pines, and I could see them. Well, we didn't have a decoy because it was within the 10 days, of the start. Because can't have a decoy. So there was nothing to I don't know what's the word.
Keep their attention off of you.
Yeah, or to get their attention towards us. To hey, let's go over there. So they kind of like just zigzagged and was heading back towards that
Fire lane.
I said, call, because I couldn't. I was sitting there just like this, froze, and they were looking dead at me. I was like, call, and he was laying down behind me over here to the right a little bit. So he called. Well, they stopped and eased straight towards us at kind of an angle, and one stuck his head up. The one in the front, that was the only one I could see, and he stuck his head up. I took the shot and killed him at
Shot him.
35 yards.
Good bird. He was a
Scoot your
good
chair
bird.
this way. You're tinkering out of frame, I think.
He was a good bird.
Scoot that way. Well, you can't.
But yeah, so
Yeah, he was a pretty good bird. But
yeah, killed that one.
That's good.
And like I said, that's in the afternoon. We killed that one. I think it was around 5:30. We finally killed him. It all happened so quick, but I killed one that morning. Talon killed one that afternoon, and then you killed yours Saturday morning when we got the text to
there was
from
a
you.
bunch of turkeys that got killed.
Oh yeah, first
that.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, Facebook blew up with pictures
Blew up.
everywhere.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, so later on in the season, we had a little lull moment there where wasn't a whole lot going on. But yeah, we got on a lot of birds in the afternoon this year. We called one up for me in the afternoon, and I actually didn't get to kill him. He stayed just over a small hill there, but you could hear him just spitting and drumming.
He can tell you how to miss them above their head. Ask him.
Really?
Yeah, ask him.
Bro, I have not killed a turkey, and it made a clean shot in how many years? 3
3 or
years,
so.
cuz.
For real?
Yeah.
The
he
first
can.
bird I shot this year, I don't know if you can see it on the video, but I shot, and
He kind of like jumped and. hit
so
the
first
ground.
of all,
Is that why you body shot that first
I
one?
body shot him. I body shot that all crap out of him, man. So
I have never in my
the
life
turkey's
seen
out there at
somebody-
like 25 yards, I think, maybe
guy.
if that. He's
25
out there at
yards.
25 yards. But it's that time where you can't use a decoy, and you got to take the best shot you can take at any time because
Yeah.
he's not going to break the plane and come running in. So, anyways, he's out there as close as he's going to get, and he sees something that's a little nerve-wracking. He knows something ain't right. He could see me and Dad. So I'm sitting there, I can't move. I've watched him come from 80 yards behind the food plot, and I'm sitting there, and my arm is dead, completely dead. Now, this is an excuse. I should have made a better shot, but my arm is completely dead. So when I do pick up, I'm like, okay, when he's sitting there at 25 yards, I'm sitting there I'm thinking to myself, okay, when I do move and he gives me the opportunity, I'm going to have to pick it up, get on him, and shoot quick. I'm not going to have time because I don't know if I can even pick my dang right arm up. I have no idea. So all I know is it's tingling. So I'm sitting there, and finally, when he gives me that shot, I pick up and I shoot. And when I picked up and shot, I don't know if it has anything to do with my arm. I picked my arm up, whatever. I body shot the crap out of him. When I shot him, I get back down there. The turkey's looking dead at me, and I'm looking at the turkey, and he's just moving his head back and forth looking at me and Dad. So I had to wring his neck, and we may get canceled for that. But but he wasn't completely dead. It wasn't one of them roll him over, man, great shot, you know.
So
well, later,
that's why the Instagram video was so short.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, couldn't show nothing like that, you know.
Well, hey, if I can say this, and look, I'm just joking, having fun here. But when me and Chase were going hunting that morning, I said, I have a question. It's probably going to be stupid, but I need to ask it. But, like, you're supposed to shoot the turkeys in the head, right?
Oh, my God. Who have I brought?
I just wondered because I saw a video of a guy, he body shot it.
Oh, you talking about him? Yeah.
I was.
Yeah.
Hey, I sure did, man. And I feel bad when I do that. I feel bad.
Oh, hey,
When I do
you
that,
shot it and
like he does it.
He's done.
pick
He's
the
killed.
pellets out of
But
its breast and eat
yeah,
it, and it's
yeah.
okay.
yeah, I actually got lead poisoning after that, and we.
Great.
But the second bird I
second
killed,
bird,
the second bird I killed,
listen
he
to
come
this
up
one.
textbook. It was the end of the season. Second bird I killed, he come in. Me and Talon was hunting. He's hammering. I said, he's going to come out right there. He comes
He's
out.
hammered.
He
He's hammered.
comes
I said
out
he's gonna
right
come
in
out
front of my
right there.
gun barrel. I mean, just as pretty as it can be. And he
He's
comes
hammered.
out.
He's
When he
hammered.
comes out, he's about 85 to 100 yards off, roughly.
Oh.
And I'm watching him. I tell Talon, I
No,
said, there
Dad
he is.
wants to get mentioned in these things. Tell him what Dad did at the beginning of
Oh
the
man,
morning.
no, we're not gonna throw the man under the bus or
Okay,
nothing like
all right.
that.
Yeah, we
But
ain't gonna throw him under the bus, nothing like that.
long story short, it
Him
was
and Dad butt heads all
long
the time.
story
Well, I
short.
can't imagine.
Yeah,
Oh man,
golly.
long story short, Dad was on the trip but was not on the hunt.
He
He
was
made
in
his
the
way back to
truck.
the truck when we stayed and hunted the bird. But so the bird comes out at about
He threw us the
85.
decoy. He said, "Here's the decoy."
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of do want to hear this story.
Oh God.
I want to hear it.
Oh man. So
Do you tell me that after the podcast?
I don't know. That's
I get a vibe like it's a good story, like it'd be.
It
fun.
always
man,
is.
it's a
Man,
good-
I hope I take a video camera with me with them two clowns.
when you get not just them two, you too.
oh yeah, he's
You
got a
too.
smart mouth.
Yeah.
And he sets Dad off, but who gets taken? It gets taken out on J-Dog.
J-Dog.
That's who it gets taken
Well,
out
anybody
on.
that calls herself J-Dog needs to get taken out on.
Yeah.
What's it
I
called?
call him J Money
J
Yeah.
Money.
because
I
you
call
can't
him-
hide that money.
Oh
Yeah.
God, yeah. Man, yeah. So we get in, and I'll give you a little sneak peek of what happened that morning, and I'll tell you the full story afterwards. So,
Okay.
so Dad has his ways of setting me off, and I've got my ways of setting him off. And now
It
they're
don't
not.
take much. They
and
can
no,
say hey
no.
to each other. And
It can
bam.
be a good morning. Well, why'd you say it like that?
Oh, yeah.
What's wrong with you? You know, and it just flies off the handle. I mean, just goes insane. So, anyways, well, that morning, Dad, he calls me, and Fridays are my day off. Okay, Talon has to work Fridays. His day's off Saturday. Dad's off all the time. He's retired. So, anyways, one day we're gonna look back and we're gonna think we shouldn't have gave the old man so much trouble. But
I don't. I see him.
So he shows up at the house about 5 o'clock that morning. You know, I get out, and Dad still feels the need. Dad still feels the need to make sure we still got our underwear on, our socks. You know, are you warm
Weirdo.
enough? Are
Yeah.
you cold? Are you whatever? Well, I'm 31.
Yeah.
Talon's 20. What are you? 20 what?
5.
25. Okay, we're grown men. If we don't have our underwear that day, we're sitting in the truck. Or if we're cold, then sit in the truck. That's your own fault. You're a grown man. Get your own gear up.
Yeah.
That's how it is. Should be. Well,
Yeah.
it's just Dad's way of taking care of
Taking care
everybody.
of it.
And I don't blame him.
Well,
I'll probably be the same way one day. But
No.
so he shows up at the morning. He shows up that morning, and we're sitting there, and I'm getting my crap out of the truck, and me and Talon, we talk more than me and Dad. So Talon the day before had already told me, hey, man, I've killed one. I killed one first early that season. Talon turned around and killed one. So we kind of take turns, because we
killed
hunt
two.
together a lot. So
He killed one, I killed one, I killed one, he killed one.
right. So, but before that, yeah. And so Talon had already killed 2 birds. So it was my turn to kill the bird or whatever. And Talon's like, man, I just want to go and watch the show. I don't care to carry a gun. I don't do nothing. Well, Dad shows up that morning. Dad has not talked to us other than, hey, you want to go with us in the morning? He does. He shows up at the house, and Talon left his 20 gauge from the day before. We hunted the day before that afternoon. We actually roosted this last bird that I killed. We roosted him the afternoon before we went. And so we called Dad, told Dad, hey, man, he's hammering. We roosted him. We know exactly where he's at. You going with us in the morning? Yeah. He shows up at 5 o'clock at the house.
We like to include him.
Yeah. We so he shows up at the house, and when he gets there, Dad's just got this look. He's got this look, like he's mad. Or either he shows up it's a good day, or he shows up and it's like one of them, bad days. So he's got this look on his face. And
Now, you do know he's going to listen to
But
this,
see,
right?
Dad don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
He knows he's got that look.
Dad knows he's got that look, but I don't think he means to have that look. He just looks like a dad. Like he's not, you know how your dad shows up and he's just sitting there,
Yeah.
Like we all show up and it's like, good morning, man, what's up? Good, y'all ready? You this, that, and other. And Dad's just like, he's
Hey,
been
I'm
doing
gonna
it for 35 years. Like, okay, it's another day,
I'm going to triple zoom in on your face.
Yeah. So Dad shows up, and it's like another day for him, whatever, Well, we're all fired up, Well, he gets in. I get in the truck with Dad, and he says, "You got all your gear?" And he says it, kind of like that. I'm like, "What's wrong with you?" Nothing's wrong with me. We get halfway down the driveway. Talon got a gun. I said, his 20 gauge is in my truck. He left it in there. I said, but I got the 12 gauge. If y'all brought the 12 gauge, I got the 12 gauge in the back of
I'm
your
not
truck,
shooting.
right?
Whether 2 come
Well,
up or whether 3 come
yeah,
up.
I told Dad. I said, Talon says he's not shooting. It don't, he's not shooting at all. It's just gonna be me. Well, if 2 birds come up, he throws it in reverse. Get the gun, and if two birds come up, he can shoot. Well, we've already told Dad, we want to go back and hunt
Yeah,
and
so
back
I
and
don't,
hunt
if,
and back
if
and
3
hunt
birds are coming up and it's on private land, I don't like to kill all 3 of the birds
all at one
at
time.
one time.
Because
you don't get to go hunt again.
Right.
Because most of the time when you shoot one of them birds, and birds don't know what the heck just happened. Like the one I shot where the 3 came up in the pine trees, we shot one of them. The other 2 just sat over the top of the other one, about trying to fight it and stuff. And then they kind of flew off.
we could have killed all 3 of them
yeah,
probably.
but we just watched them.
But what fun is that? To go ahead and kill them all off the property, and then
Yeah.
you go back the next day and it's crickets, and you don't hear none gobbling.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm alone on this, but most turkey hunters like to watch the show. That's what it's all about. We like the strutting, the gobbling, the spitting, the drumming, the whole 9 yards. That's what it's all about. The killing is very minute compared to the show. So, anyways, Talon's already told me, but Dad don't know this, but Talon's already told me he don't want to shoot. So, of course, I'm like, he don't want to shoot. Well, we go back and get the gun anyways. So we go back and get the gun. We go on down. We're going. Well, Dad says something along the way, and I'm sure I said something along the way. Well, that set us both off. Bam. Well, first of all, I love to go turkey hunting and watch the show. Don't get me wrong. But I also go on my days off to try to kill. I don't just go just to be like, bam, slam doors, whatever. It is what it is. If we hear one today, we do. If we don't, we don't. Whatever. And keep in mind, we've done roosted this bird, so we know he's there. If we do this right, we have a outstanding chance to kill this bird if we do it right.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, Dad's been hunting for 35 years. He's like, a turkey's a turkey. I'll go back another day. If we don't kill him today, great. We'll go back and hunt him another day. We'll get another chance. And I understand what he's saying when he says that, but it's my day off, We don't get to go a whole lot. We get to go on our days off and the mornings off. Well, Dad, we get into talking about stuff. Well, we get out of the truck, And Dad's like, hey, we'd have a better chance if we split up. Talon's like, I want to go with Jansen to the bird that we roosted yesterday. I don't want to split up. And Dad's like, okay.
That's stupid.
Well, first of all,
we didn't come to kill 2 birds. Came to kill 1 bird that we roosted yesterday.
Right.
I didn't go to split up and go across the road and find 3 more over there and try to kill one of them too. I went to kill 1 bird.
One bird.
Bird's all I need a day.
1 bird's what we want to do.
If I go on a hunt, I don't care to kill no more than 1 bird.
Right.
I mean, it's cool if you double up, if you have a friend
Yeah.
on public land or something like that. But private land, congratulations.
You want
doubled
to
up.
you want to
I mean-
save them best as possible, or that's how we hunt. We want to save them as best as possible to go back and have another hunt. Like if you go with us, if Talon carries the gun and me and you there, you're to film, I'm the call, whatever.
You get another show.
The
Don't all
next
end in one day.
Saturday we can go back and you have the gun. You know, we
Yeah.
know they're there. It's private land. They're not pressured. Okay, they're there. So we try not to shoot them all at one time. But anyways, keep in mind though, we go out and the night before we go over and we play men's league softball that night. We just roosted the bird. I told Talon, I said, we need to get there and get there before daylight. We need to go down that road. This is this is closer to the end of the season, so decoys are legal. I said, we need to go down, get at the end of that road. I said, if we do it in the daylight, he'll see us. It's over with. You can forget it. You can't set up on him. Okay? If we go down that road before daylight, we'll be in the money. We'll be good. We'll be where he wants to go. We'll be right there on him. Well, we sitting at the trucks talking about splitting up. Talking about, well, I don't want to. I want to go with Jansen. So, well, where are we going to park the trucks? Do we need to park them here or going up to the gate? Well, I said, well, he's roosted down this creek right here. Well, Dad looks at me. What does that mean? I said, what do you mean, what does that mean? I'm just telling you he's roosted down this creek right here. Well, we ain't going to scare him. I said, I'm not talking about. So anyways, it's a whole conversation, and the sun, by the minute, is steadily coming up. So I'm sitting here thinking, I said, well, it's too late to go down that road. Well, of course, that sets everybody off. It's too late to go down the road. It just goes nuts. Things go nuts, man. Things go nuts. And I probably said some of the stuff with an attitude, which Dad don't like.
Never.
That never goes over well with Dad.
Well, he never does that.
Yeah, and I never keep my cools. So I'm sitting here, and I told him, I was like, look, it's my day off. We roosted this bird yesterday. I want to go in before daylight. I want to try to kill this bird. So we're having a conversation. It's getting daylight. Finally, we make a decision. Okay, forget it. We're leaving the trucks here. We're walking up the road or whatever, or we're driving up here to the gate. We'll leave the trucks there, and we'll go in. So we did
Get
that.
to a little Y.
Yeah,
Past
we
the
get in
barn.
there. We get past we get past a little building, and we get to a Y, and of course, keep in mind everybody's got a hostile attitude right now. So
Jansen's constantly the entire walk. We're too late. All the way up to the
well,
Y.
first of all, everybody's got a hostile attitude when we're walking up, so nobody's really saying a word other than I said it's too daylight to walk down that road. And it's too daylight. And
The
anyways,
whole walk up there.
so we're walking, and of course, Dad's bowling. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care if we kill this bird or not. We're out here to have fun, which we are. You know, I completely
Oh, it
agree.
sounds like it.
I agree with him on that situation.
And I'm
but
just like up there, just like with my ear cupped like this, listening for the bird while these two.
oh, wait a minute. We're fixing to get to where Talon's smart mouth comes into play.
Oh, so you got a smart mouth too.
Oh yeah,
I
it's
said
coming.
so.
It's coming. So we get up there to the Y. Okay, we get to the Y where you Y off and go down to where the turkey's at. Which I'm saying it's too daylight now. We can't go down it. It's over with, you know.
What
I
the
said,
fuck?
so I didn't say anything to anybody. What I was going to do, and the plan in my mind was, and they were behind me, the plan in my mind was to walk past that road at the Y where it Y's off to go down to the turkey. Let's go past that. I didn't tell nobody, but this is in my mind. I'm just hoping they follow. But anyways, I said, I'm going to go by that road. I'm going to get down that road and go in behind him and call him away from the road. So that was my plan. We start to walk by the road where he's at. And Talon, I guess, wasn't listening to me the whole way up there where it's too daylight to go down this road. Talon says, hey, where are you going? I said,
I didn't know where he was going.
I said, I turned around. I was like, I'm going past the bird. I said, because it's too daylight to go down this road here. I said, I'm going past the bird. We'll get down here and call him away from the road. He said, Talon, well, you better be making the right call. Oh,
That
man.
sounds like Talon.
Oh, man.
I can hear him saying that.
So Talon's innocent all the way up to this point, and we're all on the edge already. Well, Talon hollers, well, you better be making the right call.
Well, my God, I come to kill the turkey.
I turn around and I said, you can go back to the truck if you want to. As far as I'm concerned, I can hunt this bird by myself. Dad,
And he makes the wrong call a lot of times. We'll get to that later.
and Dad says, next thing we know, a decoy hits us in the back of the legs. Decoy. Now, this is all the turkey. The turkey is down that road, probably 80 yards. I mean, he's just right there if he's roosted where we roosted him at.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, boom, it hits us in the back of the legs. Y'all can hunt the bird by yourself. I'm going back to the truck. I am not doing this.
So he
We out here
just
to,
leave then.
so I told Dad, I said, well, then leave. Go back to the truck then if that's how you want to be.
Ain't nobody stopping you.
And we're
There you
talking
go.
like this. So how in the world we killed this bird, I have no idea. But we're
Crazy
talking
to
like
see
this by
everybody
now.
lie.
By this time, we're talking like we are now. Not being quiet, not nothing, just like whatever, Forget this. Well,
Well, this guy starts pacing back and forth. First off, if we'd have ever went all the way down the way he went, probably would have never killed the bird. First off.
I knew things he didn't know. I knew that they would come to that other food plot down there. But
We call it the airplane strips. What you talking about, right? The strip.
there's a food plot off the strip. But
But that bird was a long way from there.
yeah, I know.
He was-
But that's
you
a
didn't know
place
that
that
at
they
the
will
time.
go to
Yeah, you didn't know
if
that at the time.
you can
though.
get them on the ground and they ain't seen you.
Anyways, he's sitting
So-
there pacing back and forth. I reckon trying to put off steam or something. I got my ears cupped listening and stuff like that. Ow! Just Dad's walking back to the truck. Turkey
Dad,
just-
we see Dad walking back to the truck. Next thing you know, we hear him. Oh, he gobbles down there on the creek. I said, "There he is."
and
Talon said,
Dad's
"Yeah, there he
he's
is."
out of sight. He's already back at the
He's
truck.
gone. He's gone.
He's sulking.
I told Talon, I was like, "Okay, well, let's go after this bird." Well, the bird luckily was farther than what we thought. He didn't go to roost exactly where we thought he went to roost at. So the bird's gobbling off in the distance. So I told Talon, I said, "We do have enough time, and it's not daylight enough that we can't walk down this road, get halfway down this road. We can't go all the way to the strip, but we can go all the way down this road here and get halfway down the road. And if he comes to it, he'll see the decoy coming up the road." Well, sure enough, that's what we did. We got down there. We called to him. He's hammering. Dad, he's somewhere out in the world. We have no idea where he's at.
No clue.
I guess. But anyways, the turkey comes up. We see him come up. He comes up out there 80 yards, 100 yards away probably. I told Talon, I said, "I see him." And he's gobbling all the way to us. He gets out
I
there.
can see him.
Would have been a great video, but shoot.
He
Who can
sucks.
think of a video camera at a time like this? You know what I mean? That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
Well,
so
the turkey comes out and it like meets a mouth of a road and meets a little food plot or like a little turnaround area for like a truck or whatever
Yeah.
kind of. Well, he walks out in that little thing and then he looks up the thing back up the road where we were sitting, and we had a Jake decoy
yeah.
out there in the road. Well, he just comes out of strut and looks over there, sees that Jake decoy, just full sprint, just takes off straight
Takes
to
off
the
running
decoy.
to it.
Just as soon as he
Dang.
gets there, jumps, bow, hits
He
the
flogs
decoy.
the decoy.
Just
Okay.
bam, hits
So the turkey is flogging the decoy steadily, just walking around, flogging the decoy. Bam, bam, hitting the decoy. And I have a problem with getting too hid when it comes to turkeys. So I got really, really hidden, and Talon's just sitting behind me. So Talon's seeing the bird just as plain as day. Could have shot him with a dang .22 pistol. And I'm sitting
coulda
there,
spit
and
on
I'm
him.
looking through some Yopon-looking bushes, and I've got my gun up on my knee, and I'm looking at the turkey, but I'm sitting here thinking he's not going to leave that decoy, and when he does leave that decoy, it's probably going to be too late. So I got to shoot through this crap. So I shoot. Boom! When I shoot, the turkey just falls off the decoy and rolls over. I jump up, and I say, "Well, yeah, we got him. We got him." Next thing I know,
he don't jump up and say, "Yeah, we got it."
well, wait. So next thing you know, I jump up and I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, we got him.
First thing that went through
Well,
his
I got
mind was,
I got the gun, whatever. And anyways, next thing I know, I
Second
look
thing
up.
was there goes the turkey.
I said, "There he goes, right there. He's running through the pine trees." I said, "You got a shell? Give me a shell." Talon said, "I ain't got no shell. I ain't got no gun."
I'm sitting there just watching the turkey like this because
Yeah.
I knew that something was going. I was like, "You didn't just kill that turkey." Turkey hits the ground, just gets up, runs.
Jumps up and takes
I
for a run.
said, and I was like, "Oh my god!" So I had a gun because Dad made us take one.
Right.
I had a gun.
I forgot about that. You did have a gun.
I jump up and I'm like, "There he goes." And he's like, "Do you have a shell?"
I said, "Throw
I
me a
didn't have my
shell."
gun loaded. I had it in my pocket. Well, then he finally just goes. Finally gets one loaded. Somehow.
Completely had a brain fart, and I had put two shells in my gun. I had a
All I
pump.
had to do was shoot
I had
it
an
again.
old pump, and I cocked it again, and I put it on him, and I rolled him over and killed him. So, anyways, we finally
my leg
killed
was
him.
asleep, so I couldn't stand up to try to shoot the turkey or not. My
Yeah.
leg was just numb.
So I body shot the first one,
Mm-hmm.
and then that was the second one I killed.
And probably body shot
ran.
it, too.
He
Who
ran
knows?
through the. Oh yeah, I found pellets in his breast.
Yeah.
But he gets up and he runs through the dang pine trees, and I have to shoot a second time to finish him off and kill him. But anyways, we killed him, and next thing we know,
Here he comes.
Here comes Dad walking down the road,
Sasquatch
coming
showing
to
back
us.
up.
Was that the bird down at the creek? Yeah, it's him. Why'd y'all shoot twice? Talon says, because Jansen can't shoot. Dad does like this with a smirk on his face. That sounds about right.
Yeah. I said,
So
he
anyways.
sucks at shooting.
Yeah, so anyways, we closed the deal on that bird, and
I would love
Oh,
for your
man.
daddy to be here right now and hear his side of the story.
oh God, his side of the story, yeah.
He would run out of camera footage.
Before we know it, we'd have to set them up and put a ring in here, and we'd
Yeah.
all have boxing gloves on.
I don't know how much longer we can go on this video, or because I have another.
We're good.
We have another story.
We're
too.
good.
Because we were gonna tell them.
We're
going
to
to
be like Joe Rogan and just go 3 hours.
Yeah.
All right. You can just
Well, this is the only one, and turkey season's over with now in South Alabama. But
Yeah.
we're pretty much kind of doing like a recap of the season right
Yeah.
now. But dude, yeah, stay tuned. We have got some stories to tell, man. That's just one. That's just
Hey,
one.
I do think it'd be cool, though. It'd be fun for you to bring your daddy.
And let him tell his side of the
Yeah,
story.
let's get him to talk.
Well, everybody's gonna want to hear his side of the
Yeah.
story.
We can
now.
do it. We can do it. Yeah, that'll be
Yeah,
part.
we'll bring him
think-
on here.
I think that needs to be
two.
the next one.
Yeah,
I think-
yeah. We'll bring him on. Lord, have mercy knows.
Remind me when that one is, because I won't be here.
Which one were you wanting to tell? Your turkey that I've never been a part of, a hunt like that? That was crazy. I mean, I think our Facebook post said craziest hunt I've ever been a
Didn't
part
do
of.
it justice.
Yeah.
Like seriously, we get down there. We're both. This is a day where we both work. We had a turkey gobbling one afternoon again, roosted a bird. Well, the next day, Talon's like, "Hey, you gonna tell your boss?" And I'll tell my boss. So yeah, we did. Boss man said, "Yeah, man,
Take
you
off.
know, do y'all's thing, whatever." So we got the green light. That's all we needed. We get down there. We get down there to the gate. We park the truck. We go down. We go around this fire lane or whatever, and turkeys are hammering. There's two gobblers gobbling. Well, we get down there on one, and we scared. I think we spooked one because we thought he was farther off than what he really was. Because when we got down there on him, he's already on the ground. He was off the roost. We got down on one bird, and Talon was like, "Hey, dude, last time he gobbled, I could hear it in his chest. Like, he was right there." And we had just set the decoy down. We had gotten that back in there. I didn't have my gloves on, face mask, nothing like that. Of course, Talon's over there drilling me about that. Dude, we come out here, you don't even have your crap on, whatever. It's my fault. So, anyways,
Typically,
we spooked that first turkey off. Well, we get up, fixing to go to work, and I told Talon, I said, call out across there and let's just see if we can get another one to gobble, because we heard two birds that morning. Talon does.
he didn't tell me nothing.
Talon,
He was picking up the decoy. We know he's gone. He's gone. He saw us, man. He saw us. He didn't say a word. He always loves to say, I told him to call out across there. No, he didn't. I said, just calm down, calm down. Listen to see if we can't hear another one.
He said-
That's exactly what happened. And he can shake his head and do whatever
where's
he wants
Judge
to.
Judy when you need
Is
her?
that not what happened?
Huh?
Is that not what happened?
You was a little upset when you said, you looked over at me and I was about
Oh, I
5
was-
yards from you. You was like,
I was mad.
we spooked him.
I was mad, absolutely
like,
mad.
well.
I could have wrung his neck. His. Anyways, I said, hey, calm down. Another one may gobble, because we had thought we had heard one way off. Anyways, I go. He's out there picking up the decoy, snatching it out the ground, whatever he does, and I called. One gobbled up there, back at the road that you come in on. Up there where the little barn is that we said we walked past in the first story.
Gobbles up that
He
way.
gobbles up that way.
Well, the way the other bird did, he closed the distance quick. So I told Talon, I said, the only thing I know to do is let's just set back up where we was. We put the decoy back down in the same spot. We set back 20 yards away from the decoy. Well, the food plot
I wish I
is
had a piece of paper.
there's a
I
food
could
plot.
circle and draw a little line, stuff like this.
Where
and
we're
just show
sitting-
it on the screen at the time.
Yeah,
We'll get
so
you a dry erase
that would be
board.
there
pretty
you go.
neat. Yeah.
So where we're sitting at, there's a logging road in front of us, and our decoy's out there in that logging road, and it goes all the way up to where that turkey's gobbling at. So we're thinking he's going to come down that logging road. He'll come in, textbook. Everybody always thinks it's going to be textbook, but it never works out that way.
And it was like, I
Um,
didn't even know. Just keep going.
And there was a little lane through the pine trees that went
And
off to our left-hand
That
side.
appeared. Nobody even seen that. Like, I mean,
We never paid it no attention.
no
you know.
attention. Then all of a sudden,
So we're sitting there and calling to the turkey, and he kind of hung up for a little while. So I told Talon, I was like, "Hey, dude, we got to go to work at some point." I was like, "We got to go to work. So if he don't close the distance quick, we got to go." Talon's like in agreement. You know, he's like, "Okay." So next time we called,
I
that
told
joker
him.
hammers.
Well, he calls, and he said,
Sounds a little
he
closer.
don't sound like he's getting any close. I said, it sounds like he's a lot closer than what he was first time. That was the discussion right before this next call.
Right.
And he
So we called this next time, and he joked. I mean, he's probably 60 yards, just hammers. I said, yeah, he's definitely coming. Well, where he gobbled to start with, he was kind of off to our left-hand side, but still could be on that road. So Talon's like this, you know, he's facing down that logging road towards the decoy. Well, next thing you know, we hear him, and we just shut up calling. Because the worst thing to do when a turkey gets close is to keep calling because he's going to pinpoint where
Yeah.
you're at, you know, and have a better chance of busting you. So we could just quit calling.
made him look for us.
Well, when we quit calling, the turkey's just steadily just trying to locate us. He's wanting us to call back to him so he can pinpoint us. Well, didn't call anymore. Well, he's steadily getting closer as he's gobbling. Next thing you know, I could hear him. I could hear him drumming.
Mm-hmm.
I told Talon, and Talon told me, I hear drumming, you know, we're both. So next thing I know, I hear Talon, I see him. I said, well, whenever you get a shot,
And
go
was
ahead
not
shoot
excited.
Him,
Do you know, that's how I
No,
said
yeah,
it. Just like that
Talon's
was
like-
I see him.
Talon's like, I see him.
Foot,
I was like,
pretty
whenever
much.
you get a chance, shoot him, because we're in the wide open. We're literally sitting in pine trees that you could sit on that wall
And
right there
he's
and be more
sitting
hidden.
behind me, facing the other direction.
I'm sitting on the same pine tree. So Talon's sitting here facing down the road. I'm sitting on the same tree, but I'm facing the
and
other
he was
direction.
looking over
and
my
I'm,
right shoulder, kind of.
Yeah, I
looking
was
down
kind of
this road.
twisted looking over his right shoulder, but I was facing towards the food plot that was
Yeah.
behind us.
I'm with you.
Just
Well,
hanging out, pretty much. We had a
Talon-
little camera beside us. We were going video.
I was going to video. I mean, would have been a good
but
video.
listen to this disaster.
So Talon's looking, and he says, I see him. I said, where's he at? Where's he at? And
He said, shoot him if you can.
I hit record on the camera because I'm sitting here thinking, okay, he's going to come out that logging road. No. Talon's like, he's to the left of us. I said, oh, my
That's exactly
God.
what I said.
So I cut my eyes to the left, and sure enough, I
To
can
your
see
right.
to my right,
To my
his left. I'm sitting there looking out the corner of my eye. Next thing I know, I see his old fan coming around. He's coming behind us.
Yeah, he just I was sitting here like this and facing down this way. The reason I couldn't shoot the bird was because
There was a
Jensen
tree
always
about the
picks
size of
best-
my truck.
Jensen
my-
always picks
my-
the best places for us to see it. So there's a tree right here.
I never
and
make no
I'm-
calls, but I
and
make the
I'm
wrong call when I
facing-
make a call. That's what he's pretty much saying. If nobody has got that yet,
So I'm sitting here facing this way, and there's a little tree right here, and it's about this big, and I can't turn my gun and shoot him, so I could just see the turkey. And I was looking like this, and I could see the turkey coming through there. And there's a road that goes down that way
that we didn't pay attention
that we didn't
to.
pay attention to, and it's like a little narrow road type thing that goes that way. Well, he comes through the pine tree, and it's all wide open down in there. It's wide open, so I could see him for a little ways coming through there. Well, he just come on up, cross that road, and cuts. He don't walk to the end and turn the corner and go up the road to
Where
the
he could
food
see
plot
the decoy.
where he could see the decoy. He just walks straight on through the open pine trees, straight to the food plot, and cuts the corner. So he never even seen the decoy that was in the logging road out in front of us.
Right.
So he gets back there to the thing, and
So he gets
I said,
back
he's
there.
coming your side. He's
yeah,
coming your
he
side.
gets back there to the food plot, and I'm watching this turkey. He's walking through the pines. He's going to the food plot, and he's steadily just, just hammering, trying to locate us. Well, he goes and literally, he's probably, when he walked behind us, he was probably, I'd say 15 yards
15
from me.
Yeah.
If I had a gun, I could have killed him. Talon's the only one with a gun. He's walking 15 yards. He goes out there to the food plot, and he gets to that food plot, and I'm watching him through the pine
And the
trees.
food plot's
he's just,
35 yards.
yeah, he's,
Right there on
he's
us.
steadily just,
You can see him.
just hammering, And Talon's like, should we call? I
And
said,
it's not like we're in any type of thicket at all. We can see him in the food plot.
yeah.
It's wide open in there.
And he's looking.
he's just sitting there
he's
walking
looking
back and
down
forth.
the lane towards us, so we can't move. I can't call, can't do nothing. Talon says, should we call? Should we do something? I said, no. He'll pinpoint us. He'll be gone. Well,
He
at
was
this
looking for that
point,
hen, but
I'm sitting there just
so
watching him.
The hen decoy, we were in a hurry. And he never picked it up from the place that he had it whenever that first. He was going to pick it up, but he never picked it up whenever for the first turkey gobbled. So we had the decoy in like a little dip type thing. So you couldn't see the decoy really from the food plot at all. So he was looking for that hen walking back and forth the back of that food plot.
Back of the food plot, yeah.
And we had to sit that hen down so quick because that one gobbled right there on top of us. So we never picked it back up from there, and we just sat back down.
It was not an ideal setup.
No, was not.
So the turkey's just strutting and gobbling, strutting, gobbling. So the only thing I knew to do was I told Talon, I said, pass me the gun whenever I tell you to. I said, but you got to do it quick.
And there was like a few trees that was going to block the turkey from seeing him at that time.
Yeah.
That's when he wanted to pass it.
The pine tree rows go like this, you know. Well, the turkey would go through the pine tree rows, like he'd go behind a pine tree row. And I thought to myself, if Talon can get me that gun quick enough when he goes behind the pine tree row where he can't see us, I'll be good. I'll be golden. Whenever I see him again, I can shoot him. Well, he goes behind that pine tree row, and I can't see him, but apparently he could see us. So Talon, I said, give me the gun. So Talon kind of switches back, or like comes around with the gun like this. Well, I grabbed the gun with my right hand because I was going to grab it on and have it right here. I grabbed the gun with my right hand, and I bring it this way. Turkey's out there at 35 yards. That ain't the camera strap that goes around your neck caught the butt of the gun.
So
Well, I can see. So the turkey's like, yes, just looking dead at us, you know. I said, holy crap. Well, I'm holding the gun like this, not moving. I told Talon, I said, just don't move, just don't move. Talon's like, what's going on? I said, just don't move. He's looking at us. Next thing I know, my whole arm's doing like this because I'm getting weak, you know. That gun feels like a 100-pound weight, you know. I'm doing like this. Next thing you know, we hear the turkey putting.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
Well, when the turkey started putting, Talon was on the other side of the tree, so he starts calling. He starts purring, yelping,
You say
whatever.
Leave it to me, Taylor.
Yeah,
Leave it to me, Taylor.
he was purring and doing all kinds of stuff, you know, and yelping. Well, that turkey, I've probably seen it, but I can't remember if I have or not. But that turkey was gobbling at Talon calling and putting at the same time. So he sees us, but every time Talon calls, he's gobbling.
And I just start purring. And then
Finally, the
he just
turkey
eased
stops
on.
putting, and he starts easing back. I told Talon, I said, he's coming back. I said, he's coming back. He's coming back. So he's coming back down that road where he come from. He comes back. He literally
Cuts
comes,
the corner again.
Cuts the corner again. He comes probably 10 yards from me, and all we hear is
And he's
I'm
still
talking
sitting
about-
there holding the gun like this.
and I'm still just shaking like a leaf, you know. I can't move. I'm about to drop the gun. I'm like, oh God, I can't do this forever, you know. Well,
Hold on. Pause.
So the
Are
turkey's
you
right
preparing
here.
for another bad shot?
He's preparing.
well,
he don't know what he's preparing for.
well,
Crap in his
I couldn't do nothing because
I'm kidding.
that-
I'm kidding.
So-
Keep going.
it probably would have been.
So the turkey's like right here on me.
The turkey
now.
comes back to his left,
and
on
it
that
comes
road.
back. It comes back through the woods there, through the pine trees. It comes back to that road. And then it goes on past that road, back up to the pine trees where he came from. I said, "Give me the gun. Give me the gun." He hands me the gun back around. Well, I get situated.
Thank God.
Hey, I get situated, and I start calling. I yelped a couple times. Well, the turkey just hammers. Ow! Well, he turns around and comes right back down that road again.
Comes again.
And is fixing to cross back into the pine trees again. So whenever I said, I'm fixing to shoot this stupid
This
turkey.
turkey had a death wish.
I know.
Crazy, man. Ain't never in my
A
life.
stud, too. An
Oh,
absolute
yeah.
stud.
He was inch and a half, I think, is
Yeah,
what his
inch and a half
spurs
spurs.
was. He was
a
a stud.
monster. Anyways, he come back across that road, and I said, I'm fixing to do whatever I can to kill this bird. And I told him that. He said, yeah, do whatever you can. Kill him. Well, that tree's like right here. And, yeah. So, okay, you can go with it now.
So, I don't know what's going on because at this time I can't see the turkey, but I can hear him drumming. So Talon, he's sitting like this. Talon, I guess he saw that that's the only chance he has. So Talon gets up, gets on one knee, and pulls up. Pow! Shoots. I said, "You kill him?" He said, "Yeah, he's dead." We both just kind of like fall back on the tree
out.
like, holy crap. I fall down on my knees.
So whenever I did it, I was sitting like this, and I kind of like slid, because I wanted to do it as quick as I could. So I
Yeah.
kind of like just slid onto one knee like that, and I looked down the thing, and I kind of like was leaned back like this, but I have a red dot sight on my gun, so I just put the red dot
On his head and
on his
shoot.
head and
that
shot.
made it easier.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but as soon as I did, the turkey picked his head up like that, and then I
was
had
too
a
late.
clear shot, and then I
So
shot
he
him.
shot the bird, and
And then I just,
like I
like,
said,
laid back.
we just kind of like
Whew.
just like holy moly, just fall out.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, my
I pure
arm,
laid
I was
down
about
on
to
the
pass
ground.
Out. I was shaking so much, I was sitting there just froze. Mosquitoes was sucking my
Oh,
eyeballs
gosh.
out.
Oh man, it was terrible. It was
Yeah.
wet down in there where we was. It was bad, but I mean, we killed that bird, and we got over to him. I said, "Dude, that's a stud. It had beard rot, and had 1.5 inch spurs. So it was a stud bird. But never in my life would I have thought that we was gonna kill that bird. But long story short, afterwards, after we killed the bird, I lost every bit of my equipment. I don't know what I was thinking. I knew we had to go to work, so me and Talon was like, "Hey, we got to get him. We got to go to work. It's lasted long enough. We get him. We fix it." I started off the season with 2 pair of gloves because I always keep extra pair with me in case I leave one, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I now have 1 right glove out of 2 pairs, so I had 4 to start with. I now have 1 right glove. So I ended the season wearing 1 right glove and hiding this one best I could behind my gun. I got to get new gloves. I lost Talon's camera
Cover
cover over the
for
top.
my lens.
Don't know where it's at.
Oh, can't have
What
nothing.
else? I mean, just all kinds of stuff. Well, then
His head's the only thing.
to
Didn't lose- if it
the only
wasn't
thing I
screwed to
walked
his
out
neck,
with, the only
he
thing
had
I
lost
walked
it
out
too.
with was pretty much me. Well, I get back later that night. I get off work. Well, we had 2 birds gobbling. Me and Dad was going to go back the next morning. I start looking for my decoy. We didn't even pick the decoy up. We killed that bird, ran out there to him, picked the decoy up, and went to work. And the decoy was still sitting right there in that little spot.
We
so
didn't
me and
pick the
Dad,
decoy up.
we didn't pick the decoy up
He
whatsoever.
the
said,
turkey
he
up.
said we ran out there and picked the decoy.
Yeah.
We
No,
picked the
we
turkey
took
up.
we picked the turkey up, left the decoy there. So I left my decoy, I left my pair of gloves, I left Talon's camera thing, and I ain't found the gloves and camera thing yet. But luckily the decoy is still sitting there. But just the craziest. I mean, it was nuts. But this whole season's been crazy. But one thing I want to talk about, and I've been wanting to talk about, is it to some people it could be aggravating to them to hear, and to some
But
people
we
they
don't
may
care.
agree.
We don't care if it's aggravating.
But-
Nah.
We've been turkey hunting for a long time. I think I killed my first one at 7 years old, and you killed yours at 7 years old. You and Walt, matter of fact,
No,
or
I killed mine
before
then.
Walt. But then y'all went back and killed one. But y'all were young.
Yeah. When we did that, we were like 9 or so. But I
Yeah.
had killed my first one at 7 at Panola
yeah,
when
yeah.
it was raining.
So we've been hunting for a long time. I can tell you this. The turkey population, some people say that the turkey population is not declining, it's this, that, and the other, but in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, may not hold a whole lot of weight, but the turkey population is declining. Used to, when I would ride around with my dad and we'd be scouting turkeys, looking for turkeys, or just going to work, just in general, just riding around the roads, you would see turkeys out in fields that were, you'd see them strutting. You'd see 15 hens with 1 tom. I mean, we've been by fields back in the day that had 3 toms strutting in separate parts of a field, You don't see any of that no more. I mean, you go by these big fields in the springtime, and very few times do you see a turkey out in one of these fields. And it's just not like that no more for some reason. But I can tell you this, so a few facts. So I think they said that the turkey population in Alabama is 350-something thousand. I could be, don't quote me on that, but 350-something thousand birds. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. But on the average, in the years past, hunters kill around 60,000 to 30,000 birds. You'll have to do your own research on that. But in the springtime, they kill 60 to 30,000 birds. Common sense tells me that if we have on the average 300 and something thousand birds in Alabama, and since from day one when a turkey's born, the whole world's against him. I mean, you've got bobcats, raccoons, everything, possums, armadillos, snakes, whatever it is, fire ants. That's fire ants. When a bird is, I mean, you got to think, when a bitty is born, like a small chicken is little bitty. Well, a turkey's the same way. A poult is the same way. they've got everything against them,
Mhm.
and we're also against them because we're killing 60 to 30,000 in a year's time. Old sport.
What's he doing?
But yeah. So I mean,
That was
another
my little boy
yeah.
outside the camera frame, by the way.
But yeah. So I can only imagine that the turkey population is declining. One, and throw something in if you want to, Talon. But
Well, look, I said this from the get-go. I'm not a turkey hunter. I had a lot of fun doing it this year. I would love to keep going and having success at it. I was making sure everything was good
yeah,
with the wife. Looks like she was smiling, so I guess that's good.
that's always a good sign.
Yeah. But as a green turkey hunter that doesn't know a whole lot about it and not all that experience, for what it's worth, my 2 little cents is I think there definitely needs to be more turkeys than what there is. There, because the amount, and I know that you're not going to hear turkeys every time you go. All right, and that public land is going to be a lot different than hunting private land. The turkeys are not going to be as vocal. I know that, but it took a while to find some turkeys on public land, and I was looking in the spots that were supposed to be good.
Yeah.
Like fresh burns, hardwoods, open stuff. I mean, ideally there should be turkeys there.
Yeah.
Right.
And I didn't see as much
Don't
as I
get us
thought I
started
would.
on burning.
Yeah, an abundance of it.
I know that burning is good for the landscape, for the trees and all, for land management. I know that it's good for deer. I know the turkeys like the new growth, but the time of the year that we burn, when turkeys are laying eggs and
don't make much sense.
I mean, to me that stood out a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Because
that's what little bit I noticed. What I picked up on.
To piggyback on that, like I said, you got predators against them, you got hunters against them, and I can't help but think that burning in the springtime is also against them.
I would think that'd be number one.
And
You would think so.
I've heard people say turkeys like burns. It does the population good for the burn. I'm not totally against that, but it's only good for turkeys that can get away from a fire. But eggs can't get away from a fire.
Right.
And if that hen
Poults.
if that
Get away from
hen
the
has
fire,
started nesting, and by the way, a little fact, and I can't quote exactly what it says, but a hen will lay an egg a day until she gets to her max on however many eggs she's going to lay. She'll 1 to 2 eggs a day or whatever. I think it's one egg a day. But I can't help but think that if we're burning and she's already started her nest, and some nest in the springtime during season, I can't help but think that you're frying some eggs. I mean, that's just it,
Yeah,
And
you gotta
Because they lay the eggs in thick stuff.
in thick stuff
They
that
don't
you're
go out
trying
there
to
and-
burn off.
And then plus, even if it don't fry the eggs, you're going to run that bird off. That bird's not going to sit on that nest in the
In the
fire.
wide open.
Or in the fire. So once you light the thing on fire, it's going to get out of there.
Yeah.
And that nest is going to stay there. Whether the eggs fry or not, the nest will be there in the wide open.
Now, I don't know what.
Well, it's hard for a hen to go back and lay down on a nest out there in the middle of the wide open where the coyote
Yeah.
can get her, where this can get her, anything like that can get her. She's got to stay on that nest.
Now, I don't know what the solution is to that, but because I know that burning is important,
Yeah.
Right.
but
I have done a little bit of research on burning, and I'm sure people that do it for a living know a little more about it. But you can burn in the fall. You can burn in the fall. You can burn after. I know that there's a certain time that you want to burn.
See,
But
and I was talking to somebody, and they told me that that most of the time they do start in the fall burning, but
it carries over.
yeah, however, they got a lot of land to burn, and typically, like at Fort Rooker, for example, I mean, to burn on. You can only burn on days that is good for the the weather be right.
The
and
weather
stuff.
be right.
So sometimes it's weeks before the weather's right, and it runs over into the spring.
Right.
But I don't know. I ain't seen no. I ain't never seen no burning in the fall as much as I have in the spring.
All right, when
Not-
it comes to
yeah.
land management and stuff like that, again, I don't know a whole lot, but just some stuff that I've retained just from hearing in random podcasts or reading or however I acquired it. There was a land management guy that was saying that if you want deer, he could tell you how to have deer, but you won't have turkeys. And this kind of you kind of mentioned this at the beginning of the podcast. But if you want turkeys, he can manage your land for that,
For turkeys.
and you'll have deer also.
Right.
Yeah.
And I forget where I was going with that, but
Yeah.
it sounded good.
Well, I mean,
You need to know that.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, and people say, I think right now, so we're not talking right now about anything that National Wild Turkey Federation has not thought of, and we're not talking about anything that
TFT.
Turkeys for Tomorrow has not thought of, and we have talked to guys from Turkeys for Tomorrow, and their solution is to burn in sections. So you burn your property in 40 to 20 acre sections, and you checkerboard it.
Every year.
Whether that be every year, I guess it'd have to be every year, because if you don't, you checkerboard it through the year, you're eventually going to get through all your property, you know. So I guess it would be every year, but 20 to 40 acre sections of your property instead of burning all of it at one time. But, and I agree with that, I don't think we're killing as many birds if we do that. But I own 30 acres at my house. 30 acres don't sound like a lot, but in my opinion, I never knew until I owned 30 acres that it is a pretty good chunk of change. You know, so when you burn off 30 acres, there could be 3 or 4, 5 hens within 30 acres that has started nesting, and you burn them nest. So if everybody that owns a piece of property or the public lands are checkerboarding their properties and stuff like that, you're still killing some of the birds. And not to mention that all the poults that come in, I can't remember exactly what it says. So I got something here that says, okay, whether you kill them or don't kill them in a burn.
This
So-
is without a burn.
This is without a burn, yeah. Forget the burn, okay? If you factor in brood survival at around 33% after hatching, that means that out of 100 turkey nests, only 25 produce at least one poult per nest.
Just one.
So, you know, like I said, you only have, you know, maybe a few out of each nest that's making it through the fall, making it past the predators, making it, and that's not promising that they're going to be gobblers. I mean, you may have more hens making it. You may have more gobblers making it that year. But I can tell you this, I have not caught a Jake up in years. Now, I have had a few guys tell me that this past year they caught a few Jakes up and messed with Jakes and stuff like that, but I have not caught a Jake up in years. It used to, you could go and you could hear Jakes, you could call Jakes up, they're fun to mess with, you know, they're kind of stupid, they're young to the game, and they're wanting a hen. But I hadn't caught a Jake up in years, and that lets me know that on younger generations we're kind of lacking, in my opinion. We're lacking on the younger generations of the birds, and I know some people say, you know, well, how do we go from 2021 killing 30,000 birds to 2022 or 2023 season and killing 47,000 birds? And then, well, here's the thing. I talked to a game warden not too long ago at Fort Rooker. I talked to him about it, and he said, look, he said, about every 2 years there's a good turkey season. He said, and here's the problem. He said every 2 years in the past years, since 19, whatever it was, we've kind of declined. So back in 1990, whatever it was, there was fewer hunters, more birds being killed. Okay, we get into the 2000s, same thing for a couple years, but every 2 years there were more birds killed. For some reason, every 2 years, it's almost like they had enough time to get a little older, and then you kill them. And then 2 more years goes down the road, you may scratch a few birds off, and then that second year, you have another good year of turkey hunting. Well, here's the problem. That is the problem. You have good years that shows where 2021 wasn't a good year, but 2022, 2023 was a good year, whatever. So you may kill a few birds, but we're not talking like big numbers of birds where the population's just, you know, doing great. You know what I mean? So we may kill more birds in 2024 than we did in 2023, but that don't mean the population is doing better. I mean, that just may mean that all the hunters had they gobbled good that year. They had a better season than they did in 2023. But the thing is, I don't hear as many birds, and it's like you said earlier, it's more few and far between when you hear birds.
Mm-hmm.
Used to, you could find a good creek bed, and you could stop on the side of a paved road, and you could, you'd hear one gobble on that creek bed with good, nice hardwoods. Nowadays, you may put in 30 miles before you hear a bird gobble. And I'm sitting here thinking...
That was me on
right.
public land.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting here thinking, where's the birds? But... I mean, in my opinion, the turkey population is lacking just because I've been doing it for a long time, and it's gotten worse.
And then it's like when I found the birds, they were all together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what y'all
all
find
in that
too?
kind of area.
Which meant all the hunters were together as well.
Yeah. Where the birds are, the hunters will be.
I don't know. Sometimes they find an area in there, and it's like, this place looks better than this place, but all the birds be in that one area, in that area.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because we hunt at Fort Rooker, and you'll go to this place, and it looks exactly like this place, but all the birds is over here in this place, and you'll hear one over here, and you'll hear 6 over here.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I guess that's just, I don't know. I guess the hens is over there in that area and draw them that way. I don't know.
I don't know, but
I would like to see the turkey population go up. I think it definitely needs to go up. From my little bit of knowledge, I would say it's down.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love for them to be more readily available so that you could hunt in more places.
Yeah.
Right.
And I would be able to take Dawson.
Oh, yeah,
love to.
Absolutely. That's my biggest thing is I want, Turkeys for Tomorrow, National Wild Turkey Federation, all the Mississippi State University researchers and all that stuff. I want them to figure it out. I'm by no means against them or anything like that. I want them to figure it out because I want my little girl, little boy, if I have one day, whatever, I want them to be able to enjoy turkey hunting just like I do, and deer hunting as well. But at the rate we're going, and my dad will even tell you, at the rate we're going, it don't look really good. Now, you may be able to scratch out a few birds here and there, but it's not like it used to be, in our opinion. But two, excuse me, so my dad.
There goes Talon yawning again.
Wrap it up.
There you go. But yeah, so with the turkey population like it is, you got predators. But my dad brought up a good point not too long ago. Okay, it seems like we used to not burn as much. Big property owners these days, they want to make the money, and I'm not against that. I'm not opposed to making money. I can't say that if I owned 150 acres that I wouldn't cut my trees to make that money to send my kids to college or to pay my house off or to whatever. I can't say that I'd be worried about the turkey population to the point to where I'm not going to make that $100,000 or I'm not going to make that whatever money that I could make if I cut my trees.
Yep.
But it's kind of a money-hungry game these days. There's more pine trees than there is big hardwoods that's 100 years old these days, or like they used to be. So there's more equipment now. That makes it easier to burn woods, to clear-cut property. We've come a long ways with equipment, technology, all that. But here's one of the things is, used to, back in the day, there were a lot more coon hunters, and there were a lot more trappers, because back in the day when my dad was growing up, he said used to you could take a skin from a coyote or a coon or whatever, and you could sell it to make a little money because people would make coats out of it, people would make scarves out of it, And there was a reason for trappers to be out there trapping. They enjoyed trapping. These days they've cut out, buying anything like that because now we can make fur and it be fake fur, and we don't have to have coats made of fur, nothing like that. So there's no reason to sell the skins that you trap. So used to there was an incentive to catching and trapping predators, but we've cut that out. So very few people trap predators these days. Coon hunting is kind of it was a dying breed. I think there is a little more coon hunters now. They've picked back up on coon hunting a pretty good bit, but very few people trap predators anymore. Farmers, they use pesticides now that back in the day, we may not be able to have sprayed 100 acres of crops, where now we can spray 100 acres of crops in 3 hours, and then we can go to another 100 acres over there and take our big booms on our tractors and spray another field with pesticides and everything else. And, I think they said something about the quail population at one time was
Deplenished because of pesticides.
Yeah, it was deplenished
Due to pesticides.
pesticides making
the eggshells.
Yeah, soften the eggshells. And I don't know if it does the same thing to turkeys. Maybe it don't. I hope it don't. But it made the shell of a quail so thin that the mother or the hen or whatever would lay on the eggs, and if she stepped on an egg, her claw would go through the egg. Well, that egg's ruined.
Or whenever she laid it, when it fell into the ground, it would
bust or whatever. So, I mean, we've got so much stuff nowadays, and things are so money-driven.
So many variables.
Right. Yeah. That's against them. And that's not including everything in nature that's already against them. So if man's against them and nature's against them, they're in bad shape, So
they're at the bottom of the food chain.
And I know a lot of people, and I hope nobody takes that the wrong way, because I'm not, by no means am I against farming.
Where are you going?
He's ready. We have to cut that out. What an idiot.
I'm not cutting that out.
I thought it was done.
But like I said,
he's about to stand up.
by no means am I against farming or people that cut timber for a living or have.
It's just variables that you got to think about what could be affecting
I'm
that
just
population.
stating things that I think is hurting the turkey population. I'm not against any of it. We got to have farmers, and I don't blame them a bit for using big, huge booms and spraying stuff and crops and all. But so I'm not saying that to be against them. I'm just saying that I think we need to take that into consideration. That
he's not against y'all if y'all haven't got the point.
Well, I want them to understand, because I know if somebody, because I've had a guy in a forestry department jump my case because I said that burning may have a problem, may be a problem with the turkey population. Oh my
Facebook,
goodness.
they'll blow up.
It went nuts, and he owns a forestry business.
But that's the only reason he's saying that. If you
don't
own a forestry business, your panties don't get no wide. But the guys that own a forestry business,
well, I'm trying to break it to them a little easier than that, Talon. Which is why I was like, I'm not against your occupation.
I mean, no, I'm not against
but
your
Talon
occupation.
here says don't get your panties in a wad if we state this.
I'm not against your occupation. We need burning. It's not going at you. Look, you're not going out of business. We're just saying move your business to a different time of the year. That's all we're asking you to do.
Which there may be some underlying things that we don't know about, that they know about, that they have to burn in the springtime. I don't know.
I'm sure there is.
But I'm stating the fact that it can't help the turkey population with the next generation. It may help the turkeys that are grown, adult turkeys. They do love the undergrowth. They love the grub, that it brings. But the younger generation that hadn't been born yet, or the poults that
hurts
are.
them.
Yeah, I can't help but think that it probably hurts them.
Yeah, it does.
Hey, did y'all see the picture that I forget who posted it? Some Alabama related something, wildlife management area on the Facebook page. Somebody posted it from a recent burn, and it was a snake that was like petrified. I mean, like Harry Potter looking petrified.
Really?
Yeah, where somehow it didn't like burn him to a crisp, but it just. It was cool. I need to show that to y'all when this is over. Y'all didn't see it?
Speaking of hens, I smoked one the other day.
You smoked a hen?
Smoked her.
On his truck. He didn't shoot no hen.
Boy, I wore her tail out there. I was driving.
We don't.
And all of a sudden,
this guy. Yeah, it's like we're excited to kill a hen. We don't promote that.
No, yeah. I'm not trying to promote a hen, or killing a hen. I hit her on my truck. But anyways, she just all of a sudden just flew out the bushes coming out of Fort Rooker. Just right into the side of my truck. Just bam.
Into the side of it?
Like right the front left side.
Yeah.
Just bow. And it was like it was in slow motion.
She said, I had enough of this.
Well, it was like it was in slow motion. She just all of a sudden just, and like she was like flying back through the air like this. And feathers just said poof. She's dead. It pierced through her all the way back into the ditch on the other side where she come from.
Golly. Did you go get it?
So speaking of all that stuff, they also got vehicles.
Hey, That reminds
No,
me.
I didn't go get it.
Why not?
Because I wasn't stopping my truck in the middle of the road to go and pick
But
up
you
that-
already killed it. You might as well eat it.
God almighty. If that had been found with a stinking...
It would have been good, probably.
It probably would have, but I mean...
Oh, it is. I'll
her
tell you
little
right now. It
bolts
is.
are probably...
No comment. No comment.
I'm joking.
It had a beard.
That's pretty good. That's pretty
Hey.
good.
Beard.
Hey, speaking of that though, turkeys and roads. All right, so my wife was driving.
Mm.
I don't want to say where, but in the city, and there was car stopped. She said, "What is going on here?" And anyway, she's very good at getting her phone out and recording whatever's happening.
Yeah.
She sends it to me. A turkey is crossing the road, and her little baby's behind her.
Yeah,
Poles are
Poles.
behind her?
Yeah.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
was this?
Was it early this week? It was a few
Okay,
days
well
ago.
then there you go. That proves our point right there. So that hen had to have
and
later
one of them got
hatched.
smashed too.
Dang.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. Everything's against them. Everything's
Even
against
cars.
them. Cars. Everything we do is against a wild turkey.
Even Ford and Chevy.
So yeah, that's right. That's right.
Dang, y'all.
So
Ford,
here's what I think we could do, and take this however you want to take it.
Well, I
Unpaved
think we're
roads,
going
go
to
back-
end right there.
Yeah.
Unpaved roads. He's about to say unpaved roads and go back to horseback.
Unpaved roads.
So
Go
we
back
don't
to
kill-
horseback.
So we don't kill
Ford and
hens.
Chevys no longer.
Yeah.
No. So no, but some of the small things I think we could do is, first of all, I think any turkey hunter that has been a turkey hunter for a while does not like to shoot a turkey, in my opinion. Maybe some do. Maybe there are some crazy people out there that just love to shoot a turkey. But I want to shoot a turkey when they put on a show. So I think what we should do is get rid of the fall turkey season. Not very many get killed. I've done a little research on that. Not very many get killed in the fall turkey season. But it is some. There are, I think last year, or 2022-2023 season, in the fall season, there were 1,047 or 1,400 and something birds killed in the fall.
God.
And not in the spring. So
I didn't think anybody did it.
Weirdos.
Everybody's
Who
deer
shoots
hunting during that.
If
Yeah,
you
yeah.
did that, you're weird. I mean, it doesn't even gobble at that time.
They're not gobbling. That's a time for them to rest.
And the woods are
hopefully
so
make
open
it.
at that point, too.
Yeah. I
Right.
mean,
There's
it's
no
like-
foliage on the trees. I mean,
That's not even fun.
I'm a huge turkey
There's no
hunter.
mosquitoes to fight.
Deer hunt.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
Deer
Okay,
hunt.
that was
You got deer
sarcastic.
hunt. Deer hunt.
I'm a huge turkey hunter, but when I see turkeys, longbeards, whatever they are, and I don't care if they got spurs as long as that bottle right there, in the fall, I'm not shooting him. You
got
know,
excited there.
I
About to
mean,
throw the bottle.
it kind of aggravates me that some people
If I
kill
shoot
them in
him
the
with my
fall.
rifle.
You know, I
Because
mean,
that's
if
not
you're
a turkey,
that
that's a dinosaur.
if you're that hungry, we'll
better
start
shoot him with
a
your rifle.
yeah.
If he comes out with spurs like that, it's a guy with knives. You better shoot him with your rifle.
But yeah, so shooting them in the fall, that's one thing I think we could probably scale back on. Another thing is I think, and I may get crucified for saying this, but I
Come
think we
on.
should scale.
Upside down. Cause you
Well,
ain't
we've
worth
already
guy
hit a
like
hen in the road and didn't pick it up. So,
Exactly. What a turkey hunter. But he makes all the calls, remember, so.
Oh, we left
And
out
that
a
was the right
story.
call. That was the right call.
We left out a story where he made our best call of the year.
Yeah. Our last bird I scared off.
well, we got time.
But
Best we don't get into.
yeah,
We'll
Lord
save
have
it for
mercy.
another time.
Well,
but,
okay, we can save it.
But another thing I think we should scale back on is the bag limit.
Yeah.
The bag limit of 4 birds. I killed 2 birds this year. In my opinion, I had an outstanding season. I killed 2
Loved
birds. I watched 4 birds die. Could have killed more.
Yeah, kill 2. Go with your friends.
Go with your
Take a
friends.
kid.
Take a kid.
Hey,
yeah,
there's going to be some people,
absolutely.
though, say, hey, we don't need to reduce the bag limit.
Yeah.
I know. But they're weird too.
But
You're
here-
weird too. I mean, like, why? You gotta take a kid. Why you gotta kill 5? Why you gotta kill 4?
Yeah.
Kill
If-
2. Take a kid.
If there's even a question.
If you don't have a kid, have a kid. I don't know what to tell you. Go
I'm
have
sure
a kid.
there's somebody
It's
out
just
there
as
that
fun
would
as
like
shooting
Go
a
find
turkey.
one of Talon's and take him.
Yeah. Take one of mine.
Those
Have a
kids
kid.
don't
I've
like-
heard it's just as fun as shooting a turkey.
Those
sure the
kids never
workup's
been
just
with
as fun.
daddy, so they don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Go take one of them.
Hey.
Go take one of them. Kill a bird.
But yeah, absolutely. I'm all for, take a child or take your friend that's never been, or take your. We have, 2 birds, 2 birds, 2 birds. That's a plenty in a season. If I took you and you took me, vice versa, whatever, and we all killed 2 birds, in my opinion, I could have killed every one of them birds that we called up because I was on the hunt with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm there for, man. In my opinion, a true turkey hunter wants to watch the show. So when Talon kills a bird, I chalk it up as I killed a bird too. I could have killed him if he wouldn't have been there. Well, I don't know. That's up in the air if I could have killed him, according to the shot that I am. But either way, I killed 2 birds this year. He killed 2 birds. You killed 1 bird. In our opinion, man, we had a great year.
Dad killed a bird.
So Dad killed a turkey. But in my opinion, man, I mean, if we could scale back, but I don't know if it's.
You in the frame?
Yeah, I'm in the.
Yeah.
How far in the frame do I need to be?
Whatever looks good.
Well, I mean, my shoulder was kind of out.
That's
All right,
Yeah.
carry on my wayward.
But yeah, so I think we should scale back. I think we should scale back on that. Do away with the fall season. Scale back on the bag limit, and
just stop everything.
And no, I'm not saying stop everything, but they've already scaled back a little bit on the times that you can go. So used to season used to start in March 15th. Now
I
it
wouldn't
starts
be
on
mad
March
if
20th.
I wouldn't be mad if they took out decoys. Said you couldn't hunt with decoys for a year.
Yeah, you can.
If you can't kill a bird without a decoy, you don't deserve to be out there.
Talon don't mind telling.
He
people
don't mind saying it.
Just and another
There is
thing
no filter
that brings up another thing that we should. And if none of the others ever get done, I think this one, and I may get crucified for this again.
Upside down, because you don't deserve to die like Jesus.
That's right. That's a fact. That's a fact. But one of the things I think that should be outlawed, if nothing else is changed, I think that what do you call that?
I don't know.
When somebody gets a dang decoy, when somebody gets one of the gobbler decoys.
Oh, yeah, and you walk behind
and
the
you
decoy
walk behind the
across
decoy
field.
on a bird that you can't kill in this
Man,
field over
come
here
on.
because he stays 200 yards away and you can't kill him. You get behind your gobbler decoy and you walk out there. They call that something. What is it? I don't know if it's
Stalking?
Stalking?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Shoot, I didn't know
Anyways,
you could do that with turkeys.
Yeah,
What
so
you can
a
get
lot
behind
of
your decoy
you
and
ain't seen
walk
them
up.
YouTube videos.
I've seen people
where-
do it with deer, but not with turkeys.
Yeah.
Deer.
Yeah, they do it with
Dang.
deer.
Well, you've seen them with deer. I've never seen them with deer.
There's
I've seen
like
them with
this
turkey.
thing that the hunting public and Lee from Seek One, he told me about it when I called him the other day. No, I'm just kidding. I wish-
there
no,
you go.
but
There
for
you
real,
go.
on their video, there's like this little, I guess it looks like a cardboard cutout type thing of this buck standing up, and it's supposed to simulate them standing up in like tall grass, so that when the deer looks at you, he just sees a deer.
A deer, don't
right
worry
there.
about it.
And it mounts to your bow, so you can like shoot your bow and everything.
But there's so much bull crap these days. I saw the other day a turkey blind, not the one you can see through. I mean, that's not too bad, which is wild. But, I mean, if you have a kid or anything.
You talking about like the 360 blind?
But the mirror blind, where the whole thing looks like, so the turkey's walking towards it, and it
That's
looks
pretty cool.
and it
I mean,
looks
in
like,
my opinion, that is pretty cool.
and it looks like the turkey's walking towards that turkey, so he's just walking to it, and all he sees is the grass and himself walking to him, so he comes to that turkey, and the person just stands up and shoots it. Jeez.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like things. So back in the day when decoys were not legal, and before technology and everything got so advanced, you saw more birds in the fields. And I can't help but think that you don't see as many birds. One, the population, of course. But every bird you see in a field these days is being hunted by somebody more than likely. And the way that it used to be, if you had a field bird, my dad still to this day despises field birds. And one reason is because if you don't have a decoy, if you don't have a way to kill him,
can't kill him.
it's hard to kill a bird. Unless you're there before daylight, you get right up under him where he's roosting at, and you shoot him when he hits the dirt. But to call a bird 200 yards across a wide open field, and he looks over there and all he hears is you yelping, but he don't see anything in that field, he's not coming more than likely. Very few times do they.
Without a decoy.
Without a decoy. But ever since all this running and gunning thing come out where you can get behind the strutter decoy
And walk your happy
and
end all
walk
the
out
way
there in the
across
field and all that.
200 yards to this
Yeah.
bird in his bread basket over there, and he has no clue.
Next thing you know, the turkey, he breaks stride and he comes straight to you.
I don't know.
And you shoot him from here to that camera
you
there.
don't know what.
Something about this is sounding really good.
Well, I mean, hey,
Because, I mean, there's
don't think I had never thought about doing that to a field bird,
Oh,
even
yeah,
though
I've
I'm
thought
against
about
it. I've thought about doing it. And to be honest with you,
But there's just
to
like-
try
there's
it
no
one
show
time,
in it, though.
it would be fun. But to go out there and the turkey's out there at 200 yards, if you just want to kill a turkey, go do it.
I mean, it's
But
about like flying a drone over the top of a bedded deer and just shooting it in the back while it's laying there with a drone has a gun on.
there's
Pow.
really no, in my opinion, there's really no sport to doing that.
It's
you
not
know.
hard to sneak up on them.
It is hard, extremely hard to sneak up on them. But when you got a tom decoy, see when a turkey sees a tom decoy, it immediately gets into defense mode and dominance mode. So just like Talon said earlier, that last bird I killed, we took a hen decoy the day before, and he would not come to that hen. Took a Jake decoy the next day, and he took off running.
It might be hard. It's gonna be hard because your legs is gonna be war slap out from staying behind a tom decoy all the way across there.
All you got to do is get out of the woods. I mean, all you got to do is get behind that tom decoy that's strutting. He can't see you. You're behind that. And you walk out there 50 yards. Just get to where that bird can see you. And if he sees another tom out there strutting in what he thinks is his area and his field, he's coming.
Well, I see what you're saying, but I'd like to do it one time before they outlaw it.
Like I said, I think it would be, what?
2?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just way too long.
So, but yes, I mean, I think that should be outlawed because there's no sportsmanship in that where you go out, you see a bird, you can literally get out of your truck by seeing a bird 300 yards out in the field, 200 yards out in the field. You get out of your truck, put that decoy in front of you and walk towards that bird, and that bird closes the distance and you shoot him at 10 yards out there. There was no calling involved. I mean, literally, you could be somebody that's never done it a day in your life and figure out that trick and go kill all the birds in the field that you want to kill. So, in my opinion,
he's on it.
In my opinion, I think
we're gonna
that
see a
should
video
be.
of him through a tom fan shooting.
Like I said, I have thought about doing that
But
because
they
them
pure
field
made
birds will
turkey.
aggravate you.
They've pure made decoys where like it's attached to your gun,
Yeah,
like an attachment on your gun.
the deer one that I'm thinking about, it attaches to
Attaches.
your bow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it could attach to your gun too.
Right.
But
Now, to get in boat, okay, well, let's change the rules. We don't have to outlaw it. Let's say if you do that, you better have your boat with you. Yeah. if you do that, if you do that,
we're in middle school.
then I think you should have your bow and string, your stick and string with you.
Look, I am going to say this. I've been halfway serious, halfway like sarcastic when I say like I'm kind of up for what you're talking about. But in my mind, when I'm thinking about this, I am thinking about using a bow. In my mind, I do think it's a little bit, I don't want to say cheap, but I can see where it's unsportsmanlike to use that method with a gun.
Right.
That's just me.
And, I mean, I can't say that I wouldn't do like the Sequin boys. If I was hunting out west for muleys or if I was hunting somewhere for whitetail. And
we're talking about turkeys, by the way.
Yeah, we're talking about turkeys.
Totally different with that deer decoy.
With the deer stuff, by all means, if you can sneak up on a deer and you can play the wind,
How many times you see 300 deer get posted on Facebook for opening day of
That's
deer
exactly right,
season?
and especially good bugs,
I'm going to zoom in on his face when he yawns and get his watery eyes out.
Dude.
Do a yawn count on my stuff because I've done it about 10 times already. This podcast. So just go ahead and have it in the bottom left corner. Every time I just say Talon yawn. 1, 2, every time I do it.
I could do that, but it'd probably be very hard, kind of like it is when we go back through these episodes and I'm editing the video and I have to go through and edit his sniffles.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I can't do it.
And what I want to
Finally,
tell
I give
everybody,
up. I give up.
Yeah. What I want to tell everybody too is Talon yawns a lot because he's not a real big hunter. He's borrowed my camouflage shirt to come over here, and we included him because he's he wanted to be a part of this.
Yeah.
So
Little brother stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
He ain't even saying
He's mad. He's mad.
I ain't got nothing to say.
No,
They know better.
He goes hard when he's out there. He goes hard, but
I go hard.
But
I go hard.
Well, you won't see him spread no seed though. But hey.
Hey, what about the time we were recording a podcast? It never aired, but because it was terrible footage. But he just walks away.
Yeah.
Goes and gets some cookie dough.
Well,
How much cookie dough you been eating?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're fatter than me. just making fun of me for no reason. I've turned into a man. I'm not even that. I'm not fat. I'm not fat. They're just. They both weigh more than me.
Hey.
I've got a little more pounds on me than what I
We're a
had.
little bit taller than you too, though.
All right, foot.
Oh, we're on.
Oh, this is
Never
wrong.
mind. I'm fat. Forget it.
No.
Forget it.
Oh,
Any
no.
hoes watching this show? Now, see, you got to take that out. That's what you get.
I ain't taking it
That's
out.
what you get.
Hey,
That's
there
what
is
you get.
minimal editing
It's
going on
in.
with this one.
It's in.
Ain't watching this show. I'm not that fat.
That boy's something else.
Let's end this podcast. It's went
Hey,
on way
before
too
we end
long.
it, I want to talk one thing.
Yeah.
No. No.
Come
Let's
on.
Why
end
are
it.
you so tired?
I'm
I
not
know.
tired. I'm just messing with you because you call me fat.
You know I'm just kidding. I'm not really fat shaming you.
No, they're fat shaming me. See, now they don't even believe you. See, now behind the camera, they're like, oh, they're just being sweet to him now.
Oh.
I'm always nice to you.
No, these guys are hateful to me. I only show up at this podcast just because I feel bad for Taylor for making us come to this thing and we're not showing up or not answering.
That's the daggone truth. I am glad you said that. Hey,
Oh,
when
God.
I text y'all the other day, I'm just going to go ahead and get all this out. This is going to be like
We're
go
not
to a
good. We're not
Here
good
he goes.
texters.
Here it is. Intervention time. You're going to see it live on camera. Nah, I told Jansen, I said, just get up with me when y'all want to.
Yeah.
How long? 2 months? 2 months?
Yeah.
And
Probably.
then you text and said, let's get the podcast going again. I said, who is this?
Who is this?
Who is this? And then, hey, I texted y'all the other day. We had planned to meet today and whatever. And I texted you a few days later, and I said, are we still good to meet and all? And didn't I send it early that morning?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Didn't hear till 3 o'clock or something.
no, I expected to hear about 5 o'clock
Yeah.
and early in the morning.
I was about to say about 5 seconds after you
Dude,
sent it, we
y'all
was
were
both like,
on
"Yeah,
it.
we're on. We're in."
Y'all are on it. You sent
Yeah.
a reply in like 10 seconds.
The
I
funny
said,
thing
"That's
is, when I
what I'm
walked in my
talking about."
office, I thought to myself, and this is no lie, I thought Taylor probably thinks something's wrong
Yeah.
because we never answer him that fast.
Oh, I thought they're together for sure. They're together.
Together.
What I really thought was, this is how I had it in my mind. I envisioned y'all driving to work, and he was in your truck, and
We
you
don't
text,
ride
and you
to
told
work
him to text back. That's what
Yeah.
I don't know if you do or not. That's
You
We
what
gonna
don't
answer,
ride
Taylor?
to work
I'm trying to think
together.
of scenarios as to why you would actually be texting me back.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Now he does pass me sometimes going to work, or either I pass him going to work
Unless
because we
you
work
a
at the
bird.
same spot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Shooting a bird as I pass it. Loser.
Hey.
Eat my tail dust.
Well, hey,
But-
if you would text me back more often, I probably would go a little easier on you. But I
Hey,
don't know,
there
though.
you
I've had
go.
so much fun doing this.
that's right.
I
That's
don't-
right.
I don't think.
Not showing back up. You know what? I'm one and done. I need to lay off the blizzards. That's what's getting me is the blizzards.
It's the blizzards.
But them blizzards from Dairy Queen, go. This is beside the point. Go to Dairy Queen and get the chocolate, the dipped cone chocolate blizzard. And they take the dipped cone chocolate
pretty
and
good.
chip it up in your blizzard.
They chip it up.
Sounds good.
It's
It's
good.
delicious.
It's good.
Doug, try that. And
Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug, by the way, Talon has your quiver.
I have your quiver
That's
too,
right.
Doug.
So if,
yeah.
if you don't see it soon, it's on Talon.
Yeah, sorry,
Hey.
Doug. I'm finna dig my way out this podcast if we don't get it done right now, Doug.
All right. Are we going to do more podcasts during the off season?
Yeah. We
right.
that's what I was telling Talon. We need to get together more often and keep it more steady.
In all seriousness, though, joking aside, I know it was turkey season, and turkey season's a lot shorter than deer season, so you got to go all out with that while you
Right.
can. So, but I am glad that we finally got back together and did a podcast.
Mhm.
I enjoy doing it. Do we want to get guests or anything on? Talk
Yeah,
about?
absolutely. We
Yeah.
can find
Does it
somebody
matter
that
if it's
wants to
deer
do
or
it.
turkey?
No, I don't care. I mean, they're both over.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe we can reach out to some people and get them on. I know of a couple guys that want to get on, and they would be good.
Mhm.
So,
Need to
Hey.
get into bass fishing.
hey,
Bring
yeah,
a bass fisher on here.
that'd be cool.
Hey, yeah.
That'd be cool.
Because I don't know. I mean, I fished, but I'm I mean, in ponds, I'm not a big
Yeah, I would
tournament
say
fisher.
we're green
Yeah,
to the fishing world.
yeah, not a
Yeah.
big fisherman.
We've been more of hunters than fishermen.
Yeah.
But I love to fish. I just don't do it.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I would love
I need
to get
into it
more into. I mean, we saltwater fish more than we do freshwater.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
And I would love to get in more into saltwater fishing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I still have PTSD from saltwater fishing.
What? Throwing
I got
up?
sick. Yeah.
Got sick.
I
Oh,
got sick.
God.
I
Man.
never gotten sick on water before, but
Yeah.
there was something about it that day.
Tore
Woo-wee.
you a new
yes.
one.
Yes.
I'd love to. One thing I want to do is I want to catch a shark, and I wouldn't mind catching a shark on the.
Lee. He wants to catch a shark.
Yeah, well, I was about to say
Lee Ellis,
Lee does
did you
it.
see where he caught a 13-foot hammerhead and a 12-foot tiger shark off the beach?
Yeah, off the beach, off the
I did not
beach,
see
Off
that.
the
You know,
shore.
not on. But I do think sometimes some guys use drones to take the bait way out,
Drop it.
it, and then. But I mean, that's going out there. But yeah, I'd love to do that one time. But
Do we have to end it now?
Yeah, we can end it now.
Ah,
Oh, you got another one? What do you? Oh,
no. I don't know why I was going.
Okay.
Oh,
I thought you
know
had
why.
like another story.
I was
or
about to make a
something.
joke and say, Ashley.
yeah,
Oh
but
yeah, dang.
Boss
I
is
Ashley.
thought,
calling.
no, I'm not going to do it. All right,
Boss
well, let's
is
go
calling.
ahead and wrap it up so you can answer that phone call,
man.
All
and we
right.
can do another podcast in the future.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, like, share, subscribe, share with a buddy. See
Hope-
y'all next
I
time.
hope you
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Jansen, you gonna end us with a prayer? Amen.